Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Night Watch podcast. We got a very special episode. I'm pretty sure this is the first ever episode we're doing where we do a full ranking of something, isn't it?
I think so. I mean, we've definitely done
Toy
rankings.
Story.
Oh, was that with?
It was with the movie review.
Yeah, but like fully just going into a franchise.
Well,
or
I mean,
something.
it is pretty special. We got the Spider-Man Brand New Day coming off the tails of that, and then we're getting right into the Spider-Man movie rankings.
Yeah, so we figured why don't we just go ahead and rank one of my personal favorite franchises all the time. Sure, it's all you guys have it up there too, but
it's all right.
that's hater over here.
Background, the pops, the poster.
Yeah,
I'm kidding, man. It's incredible.
Yeah, if you can't tell, we're doing
Amazing.
already.
If you,
we're gonna rank every single Spider-Man movie, live action, and the Spider-Verses, all 11. We're not doing the Venoms or Madam Web or Craven.
Well,
any of that.
Morbius.
those are just
Yeah, but some people do it. But just the main 11. We're each gonna give our list, and then we're gonna have a couple short segments at the end that you guys should definitely stick around for. But our main focus of the video is going to be those lists, and we're going to get straight into it. I'm pretty sure Stripes Up Top is going to start it from the top.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think of that. Oh, yeah.
Hey.
All right, we are starting with the Stripes Up Top rankings. So you want to start at number 11?
Terrible.
I mean, that is my worst one. I will preface this. I think we all share this sentiment. We enjoy every single Spider-Man movie. All of them are at least good. Some of them are varying levels of great or incredible. I don't think we put any of them below.
Would you agree with that?
A 6?
Yeah. I think the lowest I would give one is 6 or a 7.
I think the lowest
No
I give
jokes.
is a 6. So yeah.
Mine's a 7.
I think 7. The low key.
So
is
we
around
enjoy
there.
every single Spider-Man movie. So if it's at the bottom, it doesn't mean it's an awful movie. It just means that we like other ones more, essentially. With that being said, I'll break out my number 11 spot.
Hey, what is it? Oh, God.
Spider-Man 3.
Okay.
I don't know. I think this movie has a lot of craziness going on. It's there's some pluses to it. I wrote down some things. I think Bryce Dallas Howard's Gwen Stacy is pretty good. I honestly think this is my favorite version of MJ that we get in this movie from the
Good
Tobey
take.
movies. I understand her perspective as a character a lot more in this movie than some of the others, but I think Harry is also really good in this movie. I like seeing him fight with Tobey Spider-Man at the end, but nothing too crazy.
Spider-Man 3 has a lot of great stuff in it.
It has a lot of random good stuff, but stuff I don't like is Eddie Brock and the whole Venom stuff. I think there's a lot of cool visuals that come from it, but it's kind of just thrown in there, it feels like to me. And then the Bully Maguire stuff is interesting to say the least. I think some of the moments are funny and iconic and memeable, but they're also just insanely weird too. So I don't know how it really falls in terms of being a good movie from it, but they're interesting to say the least. So yeah, that is my number 11. My thoughts on it. All right, and just moving on. Number 10. Number 10. And this is going to be hurtful for a lot of people. Number
it is,
10,
man.
Spider-Man 1. I think that this has the cringiest dialogue between two love interests pretty much of all time. I think Toby and Kirsten Dunst, or Peter and MJ, have some awful dialogue, and it's so like awful to get through, dude. It's actually like, I say this because I know people talk about the Anakin and Padme stuff from Attack of the Clones a lot. I think this is on that same tier. I think it's that bad to me.
I mean, I agree, but I don't have it at number 10.
Yeah,
it's not something that I'm gonna like freak out about. There are going to be people that grill you for this.
I'm prepared.
You don't agree at all?
No, I think there's like 4 or 5 movies that go before this.
No, that's fine. I know most people like it. I agree that like
Maybe not that many. But for sure at least 2 or 3.
a handful. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, well, I wrote in here in the pros that it set the stage for future comic book movies. You have to give it respect for that. Willem Dafoe is incredible as Goblin. J. Jonah Jameson is incredible. The Uncle Ben stuff, The Great Power, Great Responsibility, is obviously the first time we see it in live action. I just think some of those moments don't hit as hard for me. I think a lot of the stuff that they did with Goblin, I honestly think they could have done more. And I think we get some of that later on in like No Way Home, for example. But I think this movie in general, there's some good stuff, some really good stuff. I think the action and the dialogue are just better in other movies. And I just, like I said, the dialogue between Peter and MJ is so bad for me that it makes those scenes so cringy to get through. I think this is the maximum like campiness that people talk about from the Sam Raimi like Toby movies.
The only argument could be some of the stuff they do in Spider-Man 3, but
Yeah, but like that stuff is just like crazy wacky to me more than it's
yeah,
campy.
I agree.
So
The whole movie of Spider-Man 1 is campy, which
yeah, so some of those moments are like a little too cringy to me. I think, and like I said, I think MJ's character, I don't really see why Toby's all like, or Peter is all that interested in her. I'm be honest. Like I get she's like somewhat attractive and whatever, and like he's known her for pretty much his whole life there supposedly, but some of the stuff she says or does, I'm just like, she just feels like the de facto popular girl, and I don't really care for that.
she was with 3 people in that movie.
She is. She was
And then
talking
and then made
to
it
Flash.
4th in the Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, well, she was talking to Flash, and then she was like, she had the scene where she's kissing Spider-Man. And
Oh
then,
no, that's 4.
And then
that
she's
counts.
talking to Peter, and then she's talking with Harry. And that's
she
how it
didn't.
ends.
She didn't know. Like, yeah, that counts. That's
Yeah, she
4.
doesn't know Peter and Spider-Man are the same person at this point.
She very well could just. Yeah, she thinks it's a different person. So
and that's
4.
not like, I don't know. It's just like, it's
and then
just not fun to
5,
watch.
if you include like who she was going to get married to. in
Yeah,
Spider-Man 2.
J. Jonah Jameson's son. Like, right? Like, I don't remember his name right now.
Yeah, I don't either. But she was going to get married to someone.
Yeah, and she like leaves the wedding and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, like I'm sorry. So I understand it. Everyone's gonna hate me. But I'm doing this based off of how I genuinely enjoyed the movies. So I also will preface that Spider-Man 3 was a 6 out of 10. This was a 6.5 to me. All right, number 9. Sorry, Nick. TASM 1. I think there's a lot of fun stuff in this. There's some good stuff, but nothing is really that incredible. The highs of this movie don't even exceed the highs of Spider-Man 1 with the Tobey Spider-Man 1. It just has less lows to me. I think it's fairly consistent. Nothing in the movie is bad and horrible. There's just a lot of really decent stuff in it. I wrote down a couple of my favorite points. I think the car scene on the bridge where Andrew Spider-Man saves the kid, tells him to wear the mask and everything.
Okay.
I think that's a really good
I'm happy
scene.
you brought that up. What moments in Spider-Man 1, I'm just curious, do you think are higher than that?
Uncle Ben. I think the stuff with Goblin, those fight scenes
Sure.
can still be there. Even just the talks with Goblin, like where he's just dealing with like the essentially split personality. Like I think those. Are
I
better.
think the Goblin fight, not the last Goblin fight, but the one before that, where he gives him the monologue.
Yeah.
That's where that's probably higher than anything in TASM.
That's
I
fine.
think.
I think so too. Yeah.
I'll say I kind of want to talk about the Uncle Ben stuff in Spider-Man 1 because I have a certain opinion about
I do
that.
too, actually.
But I'll save that for when I do my rankings.
It might
so.
be
But I low key disagree with that.
I also kind of like. It's not like higher than me, maybe than that scene, but it might be. I kind of like the ending of Spider-Man 1 as well. When he's giving his when he's talking about how he's like accepting, like he's like, I'm taking on this responsibility.
He rejects MJ.
Yeah, well, and then when he the speech he gives, it's like a monologue, it's internal, I think.
Internal monologue.
Yeah. But he talks and he says, I'm Spider-Man. Like I like that whole where he's like coming to this grip of this reality at the end of it's his responsibility to be the hero.
Yeah.
I like the ending a lot.
But that plays a lot into Spider-Man 2 as well.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, no, I like a lot of the stuff. Generally speaking, better. I think in TASM 1, I'll bring this up. I know how much you care about it, but I think Andrew and Emma Stone's chemistry is incredible. I think that's a highlight of the movie. I think Uncle Ben in this movie is also a highlight. I love the actor who portrays him. I think he gives a really good Uncle Ben portrayal and some great scenes with him. Dare I say, I think I enjoy this Uncle Ben slightly more than Uncle Ben in Spider-Man 1.
I'm just going to talk about it then.
I figured
since you
that
brought
was
it
your
up.
point. I figured.
I think it's actually insane how people think the Spider-Man 1 Uncle Ben is better. I think it's actually insane. I don't care what you say. I don't think there's an argument for it. There is one scene between them in Spider-Man 1 before his death. And when that death comes, I am not nearly as emotionally impacted by it. He says, with great power comes great responsibility. Sure. That's an iconic line, all that. But in TASM 1, you get 4 scenes between Andrew Garfield, Spider-Man, and Uncle Ben before that death that make it way more impactful. I don't even think it's close. You can argue with me on that. What are you going to say? Oh, this one scene is better than all those 4 scenes. It's really not, though. He says the line. That's all he says. That's crazy to me. I just had to say that.
No, absolutely. Go crazy. This is the point of this podcast, all right? Voicing our goddamn opinions.
It's not even close. Like you cannot say anything to prove my because you get the stuff where he goes into his room to talk about his parents, which a lot of people don't like the parent side plot, all that, but still outside of that point, it's still a very emotional scene. And as he's leaving, well, you get first of all, I'll say this first, you get the funny stuff where he's like looking at the computer and he sees Gwen, which leads to another scene that's pretty funny.
He's got you on his computer.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so awkward.
Yeah. It's just a funny scene there. But as he's leaving, Andrew says, "You're a pretty great dad." Like as he's leaving, or something along those lines. As he's leaving, then you get the stuff where Peter comes home and he gives a great performance, by the way. So does they're both Aunt May. Sally Field is Aunt May, and then I don't know that. Do you know the actor of Uncle Ben?
I know he plays the president in oh my gosh, Jesus, I can't remember the name of the show now.
It's all
West
good.
Wing.
Okay.
He's the president in that, but I don't remember his actor's name.
Okay. But anyway, those two great performances. The scene of where he's slamming the door, he comes home late, and that whole sequence is amazing. Then he goes out to follow him, which leads to the death.
Uncle Ben plays better off of Aunt May.
Yes.
In this movie. Yeah.
Yes. And then you get this scene where he actually dies. A big complaint that a lot of people have, that I'm not gonna necessarily say you're wrong, is people think it's stupid how they're like, why would Uncle Ben try and take the gun from him as he's coming out? Like he drops it. Why would he just be like, oh, just try and stop him? But I think that's a little bit of a stupid complaint, because clearly the dude who's running the store is running out saying, "Stop that guy," blah blah blah, and then he drops the gun. And I don't think it's crazy to say that someone would think "Oh my god, what's happening?" and try to stop it. You know.
I think it plays
Plus, that's who
into-
Uncle Ben is. Uncle
Yeah.
Ben's a very good person.
He instills that inspiration into Peter.
Yes.
That's the big point of it. So yeah, I agree. It's not too crazy. I can understand that, but that's the whole idea, is that Uncle Ben is supposed to be this morally, very strongly moral person who believes in that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, I mean, that stuff is kind of besides the point. I just think simply the fact that you get those 3 to 4 scenes with Uncle Ben just makes that scene way more emotionally impactful, and I don't even think it's close. I actually tear up when I watch that every single time. I feel nothing from the Toby stuff. It also comes to the fact that Garfield's just a lot better of an actor than McGuire is, so. But I just had to get that spiel out real quick.
No, all
Sorry.
good. I think I'm a lot closer on my Uncle Ben's, I guess, than you are, but like I said, I think I do enjoy the TASM Uncle Ben slightly more. And a lot of it is just
God, you're spinning.
screen time. So yeah. Okay. So that's I give TASM 1 a 7 out of 10. That is my number 9. Number 8. I have Far From Home. This is my least favorite of the Tom movies. I think it's still good. People who say they hate it and it's their least favorite, I don't understand, because I don't think it's drastically different from Homecoming or even the other Tom movies we have. I guess No Way Home, more or less. But it's just the big difference is obviously it happens in Europe as opposed to New York. So that's your main difference. And I understand that complaint, but there's still a lot of really fun scenes. I've written down, I think Mysterio's a good villain. I like the Illusions fight scenes that he has with him. The whole Peter Tingle or Spidey sense stuff that he has. I like the theme of Tom Spider-Man, Peter trying to live up to Iron Man and seeing him everywhere. And the scene he has with Happy where he's talking about that, and he tells him, "You're not going to be Iron Man. Nobody's going to be Iron Man. Tony gave the glasses to you because he believed in you." That type of stuff. I enjoy that theme from the movie. And then the post-credit scene of his identity being revealed by J. Jonah Jameson / Quentin Beck is crazy. I don't know how much I would say I love it, but it's insane. That's one of the craziest post-credit scenes ever. So
No, it's easily up there. That's one of the better parts of the movie, so I agree.
yeah.
Yeah,
good to
I
know
think my three favorite parts of the movie. Probably one, that is crazy at the end. The fight scene he has with Mysterio, the final fight scene is up there for me all time Spider-Man fight scenes, easily in my top 3. And then the conversation he has with Happy when he's making his suit
Yes.
on the plane. That is just
Top 3 scene in the movie. For me.
it's a great scene. I actually felt such an emotional connection to that part.
And it really, for me, it stems from when Peter's talking to him, and then it's the direct line, like I just said before, when Happy says, you're not going to be Iron Man. Nobody's going to be Iron Man. It's him, and you can feel the emotion from, which is crazy because like, why can't I remember his name? Actor for Dave, not Dave Filoni. What am I saying?
Jon Favreau.
Jon Favreau, because he does Star Wars stuff. Sorry, Jon Favreau. He's not even really an actor directly. Like he's much more director and producing, but he actually gives a really good.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like that's also such a good just like there's such a good build up from the previous movies of like
his connection with Iron Man.
and Happy even like. Happy at first is treats him as like like a nuisance, like annoying, like it doesn't really give him the time of day. And at this point, like he's like almost like uncle or like an older brother, or like you know what I mean. Like he's got this like mentor type relationship with him. I just think it's so strong. Like I just think that movie gets way overhated. Like
I agree.
You'll see once in my rankings, it's towards the bottom. It's towards the bottom as well.
Okay.
It is towards the bottom. I'll just say that. But because I do think there are flaws with the movie, and also just it not being in New York does hold it back in certain aspects. But like, I think that movie gets so overhated. Like, I just don't understand.
I agree.
That movie gets.
No, that's I think we can go through each and every movie, and there's stuff in each movie that's just so good. Like even in Far From Home, that a lot of people have towards the bottom of their list. Spider-Man 3, all those movies. There's some great stuff.
Like we said, we love all the Spider-Man movies. Like they're all.
I love the Spider-Man. Like I was telling them, every time I put on a Spider-Man movie, it doesn't matter which one it is. I'm excited to watch it. I like all of them.
Another complaint I have with people complaining about Far From Home is a lot of people like love to say like Peter wouldn't feel like that when in terms of Peter feeling like. Wanting to be a teenager and just have a normal summer, and I've seen people say like, "Oh, Peter wouldn't do that." Peter takes on this the responsibility of being Spider-Man seriously, and like he would never like just let people just want to let people have to fend for themselves. And I'm like, I just don't understand that argument because like he's a teenager. Like I could putting myself in those shoes, I could very easily see him just wanting to be like. No, I want to have a normal summer with my friends. Like, I think people like are just judging that way too harshly.
And it's prefaced all by him wanting to set up opportunities to talk with MJ and do some nice things with her, spend time with her, and then start a relationship. So
yeah,
I can understand some because in Homecoming it's all set up that he just essentially doesn't care and wants to be Spider-Man, and for the first half of the movie essentially wants to just be an Avenger. And then but that's what he learns by the end of the movie. That's
to
the
be
moment
the friendly neighborhood.
he wants to be the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. So I agree.
But
that,
you also see development in Avengers that he understands like he's gonna have this responsibility for like basically forever, like as long as until he can't fight anymore.
Yeah,
and he's seeing this opportunity to like connect with MJ, and he's like, wow, this might be like the last chance I have to like have some semblance of like a normal life.
School trip too.
Yeah,
like, I don't know. Like most people, I'm sure have some opportunity. I think I remember in high school we had 2 opportunities for like trips to different countries, but those are insanely expensive and really big deals. So like, yeah, of course he has that opportunity. He's gonna want to try and spend it with the people he cares about.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I agree. It doesn't bother me. I only wrote down 2 things that I don't particularly like about Far From Home strongly. The fact that it's not in New York isn't too crazy to me. I actually enjoy seeing the concept of Spider-Man being in other cities. I think it's a bit crazy, and that's why they try to do the whole like night monkey suit, just to like try to deal with the fact that like, oh, Spider-Man, if he's in this place now, it's kind of obvious that it's one of these people. But I think the only parts I don't particularly like are the fact that Nick Fury and Maria Hill are Skrulls at the end. That takes a lot of. I think that's lame. I
kind of agree.
I wish it was actually the 2 of them and they did a little bit more, because I think a lot of the scenes that they have them in feel so flat now because it's not actually them. And then I also don't particularly enjoy the whole Ned and Betty relationship. I think it's really just there to give Ned some screen time because he was obviously he's an important character from the first movie. And I like Ned, but like I wish he did a bit more than just being a weird kind of somewhat cringy relationship, essentially. So it's not horrible, but I just don't like it that much.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah. But that is my number 8. I give Far From Home a 7.5 out of 10. At number 7, it is Homecoming. I think it's just slightly better than its, I guess, sequel. I give it an 8 out of 10. I really enjoy the themes, once again, with Peter and Tony. A lot of the scenes where he talks to him about if you aren't anything without the suit, you don't deserve it. Him trying to do that. I do think that the ending where he does just kind of because it's the fact that it happens pretty out of nowhere. Where I think from Peter's perspective, it's fine that he decides I want to be a friendly neighbor to Spider-Man. From Tony's perspective is the weird for me because he spent his other 2 encounters with Peter earlier on telling him, you need to knock it off. Like, don't go after this Vulture guy. Don't go after this whole whatever. You need to just be the friendly neighbor to Spider-Man. And then he does at the end and captures him. And I know it's like Tony's plane and all of his supplies, cargo, whatever, that they're moving to the new facility. But I don't understand why him doing that and succeeding is exactly the reason why he's now okay with Peter being an Avenger. I don't particularly like that, but aside from that, I think there's a lot of fun scenes of just Peter being essentially a high schooler. I think it's a lot more fun than...
Do you think it had anything to do with it? He did it without the suit?
I think it's part of it for sure. I just don't understand why. To me, he's still doing the same action.
Yeah, I just didn't know if like him proving that like that he doesn't need the suit maybe proved to Tony that he's like
He's more capable than
yeah.
Yeah, but I think the thing for what he's trying to say and the thing for me, which I kind of understand your point, is the fact that the reason Tony takes it away is because he's being reckless. It's not really about the suit.
Well, but also Tom says that, or Peter says that he like needs the suit.
Yes.
He does say that, yeah. But
And-
I think he was going to take it away either way.
Yeah, he may have, but I don't know. I think that line holds some weight.
I agree. And like I said, I really like that scene. I don't know. To me, it feels more like it's the actions of what he's doing as opposed to whether or not he has the suit. So it just doesn't make sense for Tony's character in this situation to me to have a problem with it and then at the end feel like he just does.
Because he simply just does the same thing by going after him, but he succeeds.
Do you
I was gonna
think?
say, yeah.
Well, I mean, from a PR perspective, do you think maybe adding someone to the Avengers that's not really stopped any major problem before, and now that he's stopped the Vulture and like this bigger problem, would give him like the ability to add him to the Avengers? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get that.
agree.
I don't think that's the reason he took it away. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying that's why he gave, but I'm saying that could be the reason why he felt okay with
Yeah.
like adding him to like offering him a spot into the Avengers.
If that is, though, I don't really like that from Tony's character to be looking at it from that perspective. You're absolutely right. He could be looking at it from that perspective, but like, I still think it's supposed to play into this.
Or it could just
idea.
be, it could, and maybe not even a PR perspective, but just a perspective of he needs to prove himself before
Tony.
and defeating that level of villain proved to Tony that he can handle his own and like he deserves to have a spot. I'm not saying it's the best excuse or reasoning in the world, but I don't think it's like mind-boggling that like Tony could be thinking that way.
It's not impossible. I would just like there to be a bit better explanation in the movie, I guess. I don't even like hate the decision because I think it's a powerful moment for Tom's Peter to say like, no, I am going to stay in high school and be the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. But I also just don't, like I said, I don't really like that Tony switches up like that. So I wish there was a bit more defined reason in the movie. And like I said, it doesn't ruin the movie for me. Clearly, I still like it a lot. I give it an 8 out of 10. But like that's probably my least favorite part of the whole movie. Yeah, I like the Tony scenes. One of my favorite things too is that Michael Keaton as Vulture. I think is incredible. I think the scene with the reveal, first of all, of him being Liz's dad.
Dude, the reveal is so great.
I think it got literally everybody. I don't know
Yeah.
anybody who would have predicted that. That was crazy scene, and then you're just with Peter in that moment. You're just tense as hell the whole time.
Dude, that car ride
The car ride is
oh
insane.
my gosh.
Then
The
I was gonna
tension
say,
you feel during that whole scene is
and
just
it's as,
insane.
like, he's finding out that Peter's Spider-Man based on the things that Liz is saying. He's putting things together in his head, and he's like, "Oh, glad your old pal Spider-Man showed up, huh?" And,
Peter's clearly like
he's trying not to say anything that reveals it.
but he's also like he's understanding that he knows.
Yes,
like
he's starting to
he's figuring out.
Tom
in his head
Holland
that
is great, like in every single movie he's in, but that scene in particular, he does a great job portraying like how like shocked and like
Scared
nervous he
and-
is.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then you get all that moment at the end where he's like, "All right, Liz, I'm gonna give him the dad talk," and then she goes off to the dance, and then he's like, "Does she know?" And he's like, "What?" He's like, "So she doesn't." All right, good. Let's keep it that way. It's like, I'm gonna be honest, like you saved her life, so I owe you one. I'm not gonna kill you, but if you get and you interfere in my business, all that, blah blah blah. I'll kill you and everybody you love. Like that whole sequence, insane. So like, I agree. The whole buildup is from as soon as he opens the door and the reveal of he is Liz's dad, all the way through that is such a tense and well done moment. So I love that sequence.
All of that raises the movie like a lot for me.
Exactly. Like I said, it sounds like for me it was what I said about the Tony stuff saying there. Because I don't like that as much. Like it sounds like I would like Far From Home more is but that genuinely raises it enough to me. And I also love seeing.
Yeah, I mean that stuff for me. If you compare both those movies, I think it's my favorite part of both those movies.
Yeah, I
like
agree.
that whole sequence because the tension is just crazy during those scenes.
Yeah,
So.
I also just like seeing Peter kind of being a kid, figuring out how his suit works, and I think Ned is great in this movie. I think he's much better in this one than he is in Far From Home. So like that type of stuff. But yeah, but I thoroughly enjoy Homecoming. I think it's an 8. For people who think it's terrible, I just disagree. I'm sorry, but yeah. So that is my number 7. Moving on to number 6, I have. Sorry, Nick. TASM 2.
Sorry, Nick. Like I'm having it over 1.
You probably are, bro. You're gonna put it at like 3.
No, we'll see. We'll see.
I don't know, but yeah, TASM 2. Some people I actually will be pissed off about that. I think TASM 2 is the worst one or bottom 2 or something. But I understand because the lows of TASM 2 are pretty bad. I think.
Really bad.
Harry's Goblin is hands down the worst villain of any Spider-Man villain. I think.
Not even close.
It's really not in debate. I think Electro is. I think what they were setting up for Electro was really good. I like seeing that Max Dillon is this overlooked. He really just needs a friend, and like he does all this good stuff, doesn't get recognized for it, has to deal with like being pushed around at work and all that stuff. And I like the connection with Spider-Man. I just think that they really don't do anything with his character once he becomes Electro. And that kind of sucks to me. So he's not horrible.
I think the way he's portrayed in No Way Home is so much better.
I think he's a lot cooler in that. They don't do a whole lot with his character. They really only give him one scene with Andrew where he talks about like, I thought Spider-Man was black.
Yeah.
And that was funny. But
well, no, I mean, they have the fight scene too, like in
the fight scene is really cool in that. Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. I just feel like,
which they were doing some course correcting there for sure.
Yeah, because I just feel like if you're gonna cast Jamie Foxx. Sorry, we were just talking.
Yeah, Nick Fury.
We were talking about Nick Fury earlier. If you're gonna cast him, like, it's gonna be hard for me to buy into this. Like, he's a dork.
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
Jamie Foxx is such a cool guy that like it's really hard for me to buy into this like, oh, he's a dork. And
I think he actually plays it decently. I agree though. Like I think if I see Jamie Foxx, I'm not gonna think he is. So it's weird seeing that.
I don't like how people say like, oh, this is Jamie Foxx's worst performance, blah blah blah, which it very well could be. But I don't like how people just act like it's his fault. It's simply how Electro was written.
Exactly. It's not his fault. It's how it was
Jamie
written.
Foxx can play. He plays that character really
well.
For
what they wrote,
for
what they wrote, he honestly does very well.
He does. He definitely does. They just didn't do anything with his character second half of the movie.
Yeah,
which sucks.
He's stuck in that trap or like that research center that they're in for like majority of it.
Well, and I just would have preferred him to like if he would have done this like he's kind of a dork vibe before he got the powers, and then after he gets the powers, he's like this cool got some more aura to him like. Then I would have enjoyed it a lot more.
That's possible.
But it's just like I don't know. He just doesn't. I think he has like no character development, which it's just such a weak villain to me. Like I don't know. It's just like
that's my point. He had potential and they didn't follow through.
Yeah,
with it,
I mean, like it was fine. Like he's super overlooked. Like he just wants a friend. All that stuff's great, but then they do like you said, they do nothing with it. Like,
I agree.
That's the main problem with TASM 2 is just the villains, just period villains.
It very much is. Like that is literally both of my negatives are those two things.
Yeah, I've had enough of the negatives. Let's get to the positives.
All right, the positives. This genuinely.
We didn't talk about Rhino either.
Oh, I think it's not as bad to me because he's only a minor
he's pretty bad, but he's
character.
barely in it. So.
Yeah.
And the scene he's in at the end is like one of the best scenes of the movie.
It is really good. So, I give it the same score as Homecoming, for example. It's an 8 out of 10. But genuinely the positives movie, the highs are some of the highest highs in any Spider-Man movie ever. All the scenes with Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone are absolutely incredible. Their chemistry is probably... I'll save this line. You can say it when you do yours because I know you said it first. You know what I'm saying. Right?
You want me to just say it right now?
Go for it.
It's the best superhero love dynamic in any comic book movie, and it's not even close.
Yes, I agree. I have yet to see one that I like more. I think it's
Does it have to be a movie?
even a TV show.
What were you gonna say about show?
I don't think it's there yet, but Mark and Eve could get there.
Oh, they'd have to do some crazy stuff.
It could, but yeah, but like you said, it's definitely not there yet.
No, but it's also there's like not obviously they're not done.
Yeah.
So
Very much so. Okay, we'll put that in the back burner. We'll see if that comes out. We got a lot of stuff with Invincible that like eventually could come out.
Yeah.
Like, it's the best show now. It's the best relationship.
Yeah.
It's the best chosen one. Like whatever. Like yeah, we need to finish the show at some point. It's gonna be great. But I'm happy that they're taking the time to like cook with it. So, but yeah. So all the stuff with Andrew and Emma's like Peter and Gwen Stacy are absolutely amazing. Like genuinely, Gwen Stacy's death is one of the saddest and most tragic moments in any movie ever. Definitely makes you tear up. There's a lot of like even at the start of the movie when she's giving her speech at the graduation, like you're tearing up then.
And then they bring it back.
And they bring it back towards the end. I think the whole stuff of her moving out to London and Peter trying to figure out how to make it work, like, and then talking about how she is his path. Well, first of all, the idea if he actually moved to London and was Spider-Man there is kind of crazy. I don't know how I would have felt about that, but obviously it doesn't happen. So, but yeah, all the stuff with that is so well done, and it's all comes from the idea and the setup in her opening speech at the beginning of the movie about how time is so precious, and she says specifically that time is luck. I love that theme carries out through the movie. Peter's dad says it when in the recordings that he has for him. Like Peter talks about it, Gwen talks about it all this time, like how precious time is, and I think that's such a valuable and important like lesson to learn, something that I would care about a lot. So I love that throughout the whole movie. And then also just shout out Aunt May when she has her scene, when she specifically the scene, and it's the "You're My Boy" scene, where she talks about how she put so much more care into Peter's childhood than his own parents did, which is just objectively true.
Yeah, it's just the fact that Peter throughout both movies has been so focused on finding out why they decided to leave and all that.
Yeah.
And she's just kind of sitting there when she's done everything for him. She lost Uncle Ben, and she was still there for him throughout everything.
It's valid.
Yeah, it is valid because she's done so much for him, and he's spending all that time for looking for parents that never clearly just didn't like care about them as much as they should have, and she's just pouring it out right there, like, "You're my boy, I don't really care." Like, you know, it's really great. Well, the acting in that scene is phenomenal, and it's one of the best Aunt May scenes. So
yeah, no, it is. It's up there with the stuff with. I think there's one scene
in
of
Spider-Man
Aunt May
2.
in Spider-Man 2 that I think is up there. They're both my favorite Aunt May scenes, and then although actually we get some with Marissa Tomei's in the Tom movies. She has like.
Dude, there's two. I mean,
I think
it's
there's
No
two
Way
now.
Home and Brand New Day now are both in there too.
Yes. God, we got so many good Aunt May scenes. Okay. But yeah, so it's my number 6, 8 out of 10. Like I said, the highs are incredible. Some of the highs of any movie, but like the lows are bad. So I'm a more positive person. I genuinely care more about the highs. So rake me over the coals for putting it ahead of Spider-Man 1 and whatever the hell else you care about. But I liked it more. All right, number 5. Also an 8 out of 10. These 3 movies at 5, 6, and 7, with Homecoming, TASM 2, and Spider-Man 2. I struggled a lot with where I was ranking. I think they're all very close for me. I decided that Spider-Man 2 has a lot of more iconic scenes. It has the Aunt May scene that we mentioned. I think the dialogue between Peter and MJ is less cringy than it is in the first movie, so it doesn't carry as much negative to me. The action is much better in this movie to me. And then just Alfred Molina's Doc Ock is incredible. He's genuinely top 3 Spider-Man villain, and I don't know, the other one is Goblin, really, like Willem Dafoe. But I think he gets. I'll have this point when we talk about No Way Home, but I think Willem Dafoe's Goblin is better in No Way Home than he is in Spider-Man 1. And I think Alfred Molina's Doc Ock is probably still better in Spider-Man 2 than he is in No Way Home.
I don't hate that. I don't know if I wouldn't say like I agree. I'd have to think about it, but he's incredible. In No
I don't
Way
know
Home,
that Doc Ock's necessarily super evil in No Way Home.
That's part of it, yeah. Well, he has some moments of it, but then once he gets
Yeah.
fixed, he's actually more of like I don't know if I call it hero, but he's more helpful.
Yeah.
So, but but my point is like Doc Ock in this is really well done.
Well, versus like I think Goblin is just like I don't know that Goblin's necessarily like good at all. Like he's just evil. Like
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like I think I don't know.
I mean, they're still villains. It just depends on how. I didn't No Way Home. I agree. It's the definition.
That's where my perception is coming in
Okay.
from is No Way Home.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But I like Goblin more in that, and then I like Alfred Molina's Doc Ock in Spider-Man 2 more. I think this version of him is the best version, and the train scene, the scene at the end, like him hunting down Spider-Man, climbing up the buildings. All those sequences are really well done. I will say I don't necessarily love the Sam Raimi like essentially horror scenes with his arms, like that the Doc Ock arms kind of extending. Those don't really do it for me, but it's not like it's horrible. So yeah, it's a really good movie. I understand why people like it. It's the best Tobey movie, not even close for me. And I understand why people have it as one of their favorite Spider-Man movies. So. Yeah, number 5. All right. Number 4. Here's a big jump in my ratings. I give number 4 a 9.5 out of 10. His top 4 is so good. I considered putting this at 3, but I decided I wanted to have it at 4. I'm going with Brand New Day.
Okay.
I think there's one thing that I decided was enough for me for a difference between Brand New Day and my number 3. And I'll get into it after I reveal No Way Home as my number 3. But I think that the villain is the biggest difference to me. No Way Home has the villains that Brand New Day just doesn't. I think the themes of Brand New Day are much better. I think the emotional moments are probably better. But No Way Home just doesn't have the villains for me.
You think Brand New Day has more emotional moments?
Debatably.
I do. I feel
Nothing
way
is
more
more emotional than Aunt May dying in No Way
I
Home.
did I say this on? I might have said this. I did on Brand New Day. I actually think there are some moments in Brand New Day that I think hit me harder than. Aunt May's
Also,
death.
what about Peter basically saying goodbye to MJ and Ned? Like,
yeah, I mean that's up
But
there.
he has
They
those
have
moments with Peter and MJ in this movie too.
Yeah.
Like the
yeah, but I would. I mean, they're. I don't know. I think they're like on the same tier though.
I
I agree. I think in the same tier, but I think I lean the Brand New Day ones because Brand New, like No Way Home. I actually like when I rewatched No Way Home. Like in the theater, yes, I teared up and cried over like multiple scenes during No Way Home. But when I rewatched them, I didn't really feel that much. I've seen Brand New Day 3 times now, and I've cried every single time.
Yeah. I think my positives for Brand New Day, biggest positive is Frank Castle. He's literally the GOAT. He's one of my favorite Marvel characters now. His scenes with Peter are incredible. Their kind of duality, how the way they go about being heroes is so fun to watch. And then the emotional scene with him in the hospital at the end, incredible, really funny with him wearing the mask. Like that, those moments are generally that is my favorite scene of the movie. Like I think I said it last week. I love Peter when he spends time with MJ and Ned. The whole when MJ finds about the note. And then when he's building the Legos with Ned, throwing out references and just being friends.
I think that's to me honestly is one of the one that's the closest to Aunt May dying is Zendaya or MJ telling him that she like doesn't love him. That's up there for me.
That's really sad.
That for me, the Lego scene, and which when she shows him, that's more of like a sad emotional thing. It kind of is if you want to look at it from that perspective, but it's more of like happy. Like he's been alone for.
Is that the Lego scene you're talking
Yeah,
about?
Lego scene. And he gets to spend that time with them, and then she said, "You guys really do look like best friends," and shows the drawing.
Yeah,
like, that is on the same tier for me. And also, I really do think even though it's not really it's more of a Jean Grey scene, but the Jean Grey and Aunt May, and then Tom.
Yeah, that is super emotional.
Yeah,
that's up there with the Aunt May death scene to me too.
Let me say this: I think Brand New Day in totality is more emotional than No Way Home.
That's what I'm saying.
But I think the highest high is Aunt May's death in No Way Home.
See,
I think the high is higher in No Way Home, but if you're talking about totality of emotional moments, I think Brand New Day outweighs it a little bit.
might agree, but it's not that scene. So I'll get into it when I move on. But I think the Frank scene is up there with that Aunt May scene to me, is what I would say. But so Brand New Day, I seeing like those scenes we talked about, also seeing Peter in the crowd, seeing New York and how much love they have for him. That scene as well. There's a lot of really fun action in the movie. Good music, good visuals, all that. My only cons are the villain essentially is the Department of Damage Control die, and it's not all that interesting to me. I feel like that reveal was very predictable, and I don't know. The only other villain he fights throughout the movie is Scorpion and then Jean Grey, essentially, but then she's a really hero in the end. So like,
Well, and she's mind controlling Scorpion when he fights Scorpion.
and the second time at least.
Yeah.
But so there's just not a strong villain presence in the movie. So I kind of do want that, which is why I have my 3 ahead of it. But I also think the Hulk stuff could have been done a bit better. I really love seeing back to this, like we talked about last week, the version of Hulk where he is this rage monster again. But I think the actual fight, we mentioned it, I think it's fine. It just wasn't as destructive as you would think a Hulk fight would be. And it also kind of ends with Tom just being like, hey, Bruce, it's Peter. Like, you know me. Stop, please. And that kind of just, so it could be better. I'll admit. So those are the 2 things that kind of hold it back for me. But I still, obviously, I give it 9.5. I love Brand New Day, and I love this next movie as well. So that's my 4. Number 3 is No Way Home, also at a 9.5. I think, as I mentioned before, this is the best version of Green Goblin. I think the scenes in this where Willem Dafoe, as he portrays when they're in the Happy's apartment, and he's got that like that Norman's on sabbatical, honey. That scene. When he's fighting in the moment he kills Aunt May, where he's like the moves that fights where he has with Peter when he like slams him through the floor and all that, like that scene is incredible. And then even at the end of the movie or the Statue of Liberty, and he says the whole like strong enough to have it all, too weak to take it. Like those scenes, like, he's just standout. He literally steals all these different scenes. It's incredible. So that's genuinely probably my favorite Spider-Man villain of all time, and it's in that movie specifically. I think the version of him, Spider-Man 1, is great, but I think this one is better, which is why that one is so much lower to me, which is so funny to say that, but that one's so much lower to me compared to this one. I also think that my favorite emotional scene you talked about, Aunt May's death scene, is definitely second. It's incredible. It makes me tear up every time. But my favorite emotional scene is with Andrew. It's kind of the combination of it, but specifically when he catches MJ, that makes you tear up every time because it just brings you right back to the moment from TASM 2. And I wrote it down in my review at one point. It genuinely feels like you're reopening a wound. Like it feels so painful to see that because you know exactly what he's going through in that moment of like losing Gwen, and the fact that he learned from it is so great, and it's so sad to see because you know if he'd done it differently in that moment, he maybe could have saved her. So that moment hit so hard to me. But I also really like the moment before in the movie when he's talking to Peter and he says that Gwen was like, she was my MJ, and saying that he became rageful after he lost her and just kind of stopped holding back, and that he doesn't want that for Tom Holland's Peter. So those moments to me are the strongest. I love Andrew Garfield. Literally also steals scenes in this movie. It's crazy. So those 2, Goblin and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, like those are 2 of the strongest pulls for me in this movie. Also mentioned the Statue of Liberty fight. It's incredible. One of the best Spider-Man fights to me. My only drawback from this movie is that Doctor Strange doesn't really do all that much. He kind of does a lot of setup stuff initially for the spell to work, and then he's just trapped over the Grand Canyon and they don't even have that line, and this is part of the movie. Similar to how they integrated the Hulk in Brand New Day, I think it could have been better. I agree that this Doctor Strange could have been done much better in this movie too. I think he's fine to have him in there, and I understand to like have the setup for the magic, but like give him a bit more to do, I guess. So those are my 3, and then we're moving on to our top 2, I guess. Number 2, Nick's waiting for this because I've been debating 1 and 2 for some time, and I said I might change it. What do you think, Nick?
I don't think you did change it.
You don't think I did?
I think 2 is going to be a cross, but We'll see if you make the correct decision.
The hell? Nick would be correct. I kept across it too.
I figured.
Both of these movies are 10 out of 10s for me. Not even close. They're genuinely some of my favorite movies all time. It's part of why I'm wearing this. And animation's incredible in both, but I think in 2 and the end across, the watercolor aesthetic of Gwen's world is really cool. You get to see all these different universes and their different aesthetics, and it's awesome to see all that. So that I think it takes a slight step up even, but like animation is incredible in both. The soundtrack is incredible in the first one, but the second, like in Across the Spider-Verse, I genuinely think that's the greatest soundtrack of any movie ever. I don't even think I have a debate. I there's other movies you can say, but like I genuinely don't think I've ever considered any other movie. As soon as that movie came out, that was my favorite soundtrack of any movie ever. You get so many
I think I
bangers.
agree. So
Okay. There's so many bangers from it. I could list so many, but I think Hobie has a lot of really fun scenes. He's a really funny character. Does a lot to like really help Miles in the end. And then of course the iconic, I'm gonna do my own thing. It's a really powerful moment for Miles, and I really appreciate him rejecting the idea of letting essentially his dad die and then trying to go save him. So all that. My only negative, as you know, it's not concluded yet. We don't have the ending.
when Beyond comes out, we better go back and you take that off.
I'll take that off. I'm not going to guarantee it takes into overcomes into, but there's another reason I'll talk about when I talk about into. But like I want to see the conclusion. I was really shocked when I first saw how it ended with this cliffhanger. So, which is great. It's a really powerful moment. I just we don't have the wrap up yet, so I want to see how that ends. It'll be awesome to see. So it doesn't change the score. Like I said, it's still a 10 out of 10. It's an incredible movie. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. But number 1 is Into the Spider-Verse, also 10 out of 10. Both Into and Across. I'm a little bit biased to recency of stuff, but like I put them both in my Letterboxd top 4. Into has all the same pros of Across in the sense of the animation, soundtrack, but what differentiates it for me is the emotional moments are my favorite of pretty much any Spider-Man movie, except for maybe some stuff in Brand New Day and No Way Home. Those are all I could be put in that same tier, but all right, and I guess TASM 2 is high. Sorry, TASM 2 is high. That one moment is also up there, but Into has 3 moments to me that I think about like constantly, which is it's kind of insane, but like the first one is the Uncle Aaron death scene. It hits really hard for me. I by the way, I wrote like a lot about these in my review. I put a lot of passion into that, but Uncle Aaron's death scene, it's tragic that he realizes Miles is his new Spider-Man and he decides not to kill him and then gets shot immediately. And then his conversation has with Miles as he's dying about him saying like, I'll let you down, man. I'll let you down. And he tells Miles like, you're the best of all of us. Like you're on your way. You just got to keep going. Like that stuff is really powerful to me. I love that. And that plays right into the next scene where Miles he's tied up after the other Spider-Man have that talk with him. He's tied up in his chair in his dorm and his dad is talking to him through the other side of the door. That moment hits so hard for me. Him reaching out and just saying like, for me, it's some specific lines. The first of which is when he says, I see this spark in you. It genuinely makes me tear up every time I see it. And he talks to Miles about like how some people drift apart and how he doesn't want that for them. And I feel like that's such a strong, like in a way it's very relatable because sometimes you feel that way about people close to you in your life. And it's such a powerful moment for me that when he's reaching out in that way, but he's also understanding of Miles. That's why he doesn't have to go into the room and all that too. So like I love that scene so much. And then immediately after that, we get the What's Up Danger Leap of Faith scene, which is also one of the most powerful like realizations of power, I guess. I don't know what you would want to call it, but the character coming into his own and being the best version of him now. Mm-hmm. I think I said it at one point before. I have that Leap of Faith as my wallpaper for so long. It's on the wallpaper on my laptop for years. I love that scene so much. The visuals are ridiculous. The song What's Up Danger is incredible. that is one of the most powerful moments in fiction ever to me. So that is my number one. Those moments are why Across is too. I think all of those moments are. I prefer them over. I didn't mention for Across. I like the Peter B telling Miles that he's the reason why he had a kid.
Mm-hmm.
That's also really good. But
Yeah.
but all the moments in 2 are more stronger to me. So
Yeah.
both 10 out of 10. Across has
Mhm.
some things that's better.
Yeah.
But in 2 is my favorite.
No, that's valid, bro.
All right.
I respect the list. There isn't really like obviously my list is different, but there's nothing that you did that was like that's crazy. So I like
Not
the
even
list.
Spider-Man 1.
No, like I'm. We'll see like where I have it on this, but it's higher than you, but it's not that much higher.
Interesting.
So,
Okay. I figure that's going to be the most controversial.
okay. So am I going to mine now?
Sure.
All right, man. Here we
Took
go.
way too long. I'm sorry about that.
No, you're fine. I'm sure the ours will go quicker since we talked about
We
a lot
talked
of these
about a lot,
movies. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. My number 11, my Spider-Man list. I'm sorry, especially to you. My number 11 is Far From Home.
Really?
And I will say this
Really?
again. I will say this again. This movie's good.
How is it worse? How is it worse than
I'll-
Spider-Man 3?
I'll explain. So Far From Home, I'm going to go through the positives again real quick. Jake Gyllenhaal is awesome. He's one of my favorite actors. I mean, I made you... Whoa.
I'm just rethinking of like, yeah, you like Jake Gyllenhaal, so why is this slow?
Well, just because an actor's in it doesn't make me I'm going to put it that high.
Whatever.
Like, I think... Well, I love Jake Gyllenhaal, but like in terms of like... I love Prisoners. That's like one of my favorite movies
Yeah.
ever, and I love him in that. And he's in Zodiac, but whatever.
Sometimes
He's great.
castings literally carry a movie for me. That's wild. To
That's
me.
not how it is for me.
Interesting.
Like if Pattinson was in a certain
Yeah.
movie, like sure, like it maybe would like give it an extra point, but
yeah.
like
not like crazy,
but
but
Jake
I'm like,
Gyllenhaal is on Pattinson tier.
there's a reason why Knives Out is my favorite of like those movies because
Mhm.
Chris Evans is in it. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
It's also I think it's the best one, but like
I guess it could to some degree if they have a good performance, but
they do. Yeah.
yeah,
And Jake Gyllenhaal does.
yeah, but I don't think it's not as much as you would.
Apparently not.
Yeah, definitely not because I don't know. It's still good though. Like you guys are acting like I'm freaking saying it's horrible the way you guys are
No.
looking at me right now. It's a good movie. Let me finish why. Okay.
No, we're being the internet. We're gonna judge.
Illusion sequence, drone sequence, great. You said some of your favorite stuff ever. It's awesome. Just how they look visually, love them. Tom Holland's great. He's great in every single one of the
His movies.
all 4. I love Peter's how he grieves Tony in this. I think it's really impactful. And then you got the mid-credit scene. It's the mid-credit scene.
It is
yeah.
the mid one, yeah.
Okay.
I guess I said post credit scene, but it's the mid
Okay.
credit scene.
That's what I had down. I just wanted to double check that. Great. Why I have it as my last spot again? I like this movie, guys, but it's just the reason why I have it at the bottom. First thing, it's not as big of a negative as most people make it to be, but I do prefer Spider-Man to be in New York. The fact that he's not in New York, like I would prefer to watch the other movies to be honest, just because the fact he's in New York, I like him being in New York, but it's not really that big of a negative. Like this isn't something that really made me take points off. It just made me put other things above it, if that makes sense.
Sure.
And then the one thing for me that you guys didn't talk about is one thing that I don't know, it just kind of, maybe it's just me and it's just like something weird that I don't like. I don't like how in Homecoming we don't really see much at all of Peter and MJ until the end scene when MJ just has that little like last glare at the very end of the movie.
She becomes
And then
the
you just
captain.
jump into Far From Home and Peter's like all about MJ.
That's
I
true.
don't like that.
It's a big jump, but it's also been a lot of times. So
Yeah,
you just don't.
I
see
just
it.
think Peter and MJ is just such an iconic couple dynamic that you should do a little bit before just jumping like straight into it like that. When the first movie you do nothing with it,
That's
and have
true.
it like that personally for me, I don't really like it. And then the second big thing for me is I think it's the comedy I don't really like. I don't think like Homecoming to me is one of the funniest MCU movies. I love it, and I think it's like a big step down in Far From Home. Like I can't remember a scene where I thought it was really funny. Like and one of my biggest positives for Homecoming was the comedy. Do you guys have any that you're thinking
I'd
of?
have to rewatch it. I thought some of the stuff with like his teachers was kind of funny.
There was some funny stuff with the teachers. I do remember that. One teacher like had a really funny dynamic, and then the one like black teacher, I think is like JB Smooth, right?
Yeah.
He has some incredible like random like talks
Yeah.
about whatever, so he's funny.
Yeah.
There's also the scene where Happy tries to throw the shield. He's like, "How does Cap do that?" I find that funny,
Okay.
but I agree. I think Homecoming's comedy is really good.
It's a step down.
That's fair.
So those are like the main 3 for me. I want to bring
But
up
do you
this
find
one.
like Spider-Man 3 funny? Not ironically.
I find it ironic.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, ironically
there
funny is fine,
there
but-
actually is something. I'll get into it.
Okay.
But I don't think you can count ironically funny towards a
No,
movie
it's not
score.
Genuinely laugh. I
Yeah.
don't laugh because I'm like, this is
Oh,
ridiculous.
Yeah.
The comedy for me, like Spider-Man 3, sure, like you can make that point. Maybe it's not as funny. There actually is something that I'll get into it though. That actually,
I think
does-
Thousand One's probably not as funny.
I think Peter's quips are funny,
They are. That's fair. I agree. I
but
think Andrew's.
I don't want you to get stuck too much up on the comedy. The main reason why I have Spider-Man 3 over is I think there's a lot of highs in that movie that I really really like.
Really?
Yes. Okay, we'll get into that later. But I wanted to bring this up for Far From Home too. This isn't a negative for me. I just seen it as a negative for a lot of people. I wanted to talk about it. A lot of people, and I want your guys' opinion on it. A lot of people hate the whole glasses thing of him. Like, you guys know what I'm talking about. The fact that he
Gives
just
the
gives them up so easily, and it was Tony's gift, and he's grieving and all that. Like, a lot of people hate that. It's not a negative for me, but I just kind of wanted your guys' opinion on that.
I think I would share that opinion if he gave up something like that post Aunt May's death, telling him with great power comes great responsibility, but he's not learned that lesson yet.
Yeah.
So I don't think he understands the weight of the power that Tony gave him, and he's just a kid. And I
Yeah.
think people are. I think the timing, if the timing was different, I'd understand the argument. I just think
He also genuinely thinks that Mysterio
Is a
like,
good
back
guy.
Is a great hero, good guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, I don't think it's as bad, but I can understand it some.
I don't know. I think it's kind of like I said. I think if Spider-Man that's in college, older, more mature, has gone through more experiences, if he gave it up that easy, I would be like a bit more skeptical about it. But I think he's still young. Like, I don't know. Like, I just
He gave it up after this lesson where he like quickly
exactly.
abuses it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like but he's at that now. Obviously, since he's like with Aunt May's death, like has changed him for forever.
Well, and also the fact that Mysterio was a bad guy. Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't think it bothers me that much.
No.
Okay. But yeah, that's not a negative for me. I just wanted your guys' opinion. That's all I have down. We'll go up to my number 10, which this is great that it's here, Spider-Man 3.
Okay.
So now I can get into why I have it above it.
Yeah.
One thing that you didn't mention, I love Sandman in this movie. I think his origin's
I didn't
great.
really mention him.
Yeah, I think
He's
the
good.
emotional moments with him reaching out for the locket is seriously great when he's getting turned into Sandman, and then his conversation at the end with Toby's Spider-Man at the very end of the movie and he forgives him, is such a great character, like completion to Toby's character arc in that movie. That really gets me, because another thing I have written down here, I think the ending of that movie is seriously really emotional. I think it's there's some stuff in Spider-Man 2, but it could be my favorite emotional beat in all three of those Raimi movies is the conclusion to that arc and Harry's sacrifice. I really like Harry's really character throughout this whole movie, and I could see the argument that his decision to go and help Peter is a little bit rushed. I could see that, but it's not that big of a deal for me, because I think that the payoff of that whole, like, their friendship to that moment is really, really good. It really does get me. I do tear up at that whole end sequence a lot. The symbiote suit is gorgeous. I love it. It's a top 3 Spider-Man suit for me, and I love the theme. I don't care. It's awesome. I love it so much. So I want to throw that in there. I will say real quick the negative. Venom is a negative for me. I think everything with Eddie Brock and Venom is extremely rushed, and it's one of the most iconic Spider-Man villains. I want to see it again. Let's do it in this next 2 Holland movie trilogy. I want to see it. Action, I think, is really good. I love the subway fight. I love Peter versus Harry at the start. I love the ending fight. I think all of that is great. I think Spider-Man 2 action sequences are better, but I think in totality the action is better in Spider-Man 3 than it is in Spider-Man 1. Except there's one scene in Spider-Man 1 that I really like.
Yeah.
Also, I don't think it's as messy as people say. I think TASM 2 is way messier, as much as I love it.
That takes a lot for you to admit, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, I think TASM 2 is way messier. I don't think Spider-Man 3 is that messy as people say it is, because that's like one of the main complaints.
Well, no,
I think it
but
is.
I mean, nothing is going to top Goblin and TASM 2, so.
Oh yeah, like 100%. But I'm just saying, like, in terms of like how it's paced and like just how all these plot lines going on, I think it's not nearly as messy as TASM 2 is. In a way, like the people use that a lot. I don't think it's that crazy.
I think it's messy.
And then I'll say like the emo Peter, that stuff. That stuff genuinely it was funny. I mean, I'm being so serious,
But it's funny, ironically.
It's ironic.
but it's
Not
still
funny.
funny, dude.
I just don't think, to me, you can't count it. if it's funny because it's bad, you cannot count that towards the movie.
It just counts very differently.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll say this: even if that wasn't like, that's not something that I'm going to use against Far From Home. Like that, I just wanted to say that I'm not one of the people that thinks it's like that's the stupidest thing ever. I actually kind of laughed at it.
No, I find it funny too, but I don't credit the movie because it's funny. I think, what were they cooking?
It's more like a meme. It's one of those things that like.
Yeah.
Genuinely, there's moments in Star Wars that are that way. There's moments in I'm trying to remember. There's some I always like credit this. Like there's moments in Sony movies that
Like, dude, when he's dancing, it's just like, what is going on?
No, it is, but it's funny, bro.
it's just because it's a meme though. That's why people like find it so funny.
Yeah. Okay, but
Like the hello there from.
But imagine
Obi-Wan.
like imagine if a scene like that happened during like Brand New Day. You'd be sitting there like, what is going on?
I will
right
say
now?
part of it is because it's completely two different tones. Like it works a little bit more in Spider-Man 3 just because of the fact that he is being affected by the symbiote. Like if something like that happened because of like him changing.
So Venom
to
made him
organic,
dance.
I mean, just the fact that he's like attached to that suit, like or the symbiote is attached to him, makes him
You'd
do all
start
the stuff.
dancing around if we put the suit.
Yeah,
up
I'd be
here.
fine if he was just
Maybe.
a jerk to everybody. That would be fine. But like,
I mean,
the fact that
he
he's
is
like,
a jerk to everybody.
yeah, I know, but then he's like emoting in the street. Like, what is going on?
He's just cocky and thinks he's the freaking crap. So
Bro's not swear.
yeah, that's funny. All right, but anyway, all those positive for Spider-Man 3 are why. Mostly the emotional moments. I really like Sandman's origin. I mentioned the action. I mentioned the symbiote suit and the soundtrack for that, or the score. Loved all that. That's why I have it over.
Okay.
I'm sorry if you disagree. I'm sure you guys do. Well,
I mean,
clearly you
but
do.
as long as it's at 10, I'm not mad.
Yeah, those are the bomb two.
That's fine.
All right. These next two, I went back and forth on for a very long time. This is the main thing I was going back and forth between. But my number 9 is Homecoming.
Sorry.
My number 9 is Homecoming. Positives. Honestly, majority of this movie is positive. I don't really have too many negatives with it. Vulture, you talked about it. He's super underrated. He's one of the best Spider-Man villains. The tension in the car scene.
3 to 5, I would say.
Yeah, the tension in the car scene is unreal. Michael Keaton kills it. I love the high school setting. We haven't really got like an accurate high school setting because
That's true.
both the Raimi and Mark Webb with TASMs, they just look way older.
Yeah.
But this actually kind of looks like it is high school, and it just kind of fits that vibe more, which we haven't really gotten. So I really like that.
I agree.
I wrote again. Tom Holland's great. One of the best Spider-Man scenes ever is the rubble scene when he's lifting it up and
I didn't
saying,
even mention that. That's a good
yeah,
scene.
when he's saying, "Come on, Spider-Man, come on, Spider-Man." It's so good. I love that.
I will say, like, there's a power scaling problem with that scene, but I'm willing to overlook of it just because of the emotional impact.
Okay.
Like Civil
Explain.
War, he literally catches,
True.
like, Cap smacks
but
the,
it goes away pretty fast too.
but he also catches Winter Soldier's arm.
Oh yeah, but like, what do you mean? Like, do you think catching the arm is more difficult than like lifting up the rubble? is what you say?
Yes.
It's a lot of like concrete pillars that are on him, though. I don't know. It's
I
a
d-
lot.
But like,
It's all focused in one point too.
I don't know. I think he had shown feats already that, to me, like,
I think if you did the math on how heavy all of the concrete was around him, that it was like on top of him, I bet you it's close at the very least to how strong Bucky's enhanced arm would be in a punch. I bet you it's close.
well, but like, I feel like we watch like Bucky fight Cap, and Cap struggles,
Yes.
and then Spider-Man just like
Well, I don't think
catches it, and it's just like nothing.
if Cap's in that scene, I don't think he's lifting up immediately. He's probably doing something similar to Spider-Man where it's going to take a lot of effort, or maybe he's just stuck.
Well, Spider-Man is stronger than Cap.
Yeah, but like not significantly. Not like by the Thor, like Hulk or the Thor.
I think he
the
is.
Hulk or Thor.
I mean, have you like seen like? I mean, there's a lot of comic stuff that backs up Spider-Man
I'm sure
being significantly
it's
stronger.
In comic, it's different, but like from what we see, I don't think he's supposed to be significantly stronger than Cap. I think it's like he is, but not by like a whole lot.
I mean, sure, if you want to just look at movies, yes, but comics, Spider-Man's way stronger.
Okay, I mean, yeah, he's obviously the most popular character in comics, so that makes sense.
I mean, he is younger, but like, he's still like, Spider-Man would be able to get out of that situation pretty easily. I'm fine with it because it's a pretty emotional moment and it's important for his character development.
Mm-hmm.
But like,
well, it's also the fact that he's like pinned down. In that
Yeah,
moment.
I
think
don't-
he's literally having to do like a push-up and then like do this. So like, I think that's part of it.
yeah.
I don't know.
Either way, it doesn't really affect
think
us.
we should test
It's
this
not
out.
that big of a deal. It should, but it is a little bit of a power scale.
I think we should test this out. I think we need to put all of us pinned in concrete,
Bro.
and all of us need to throw a punch with a metal arm. And
Okay, yeah, maybe. All right, where was I? Oh yeah, Rebel scene, and then I don't care. People claim out this all the time. Iron Boy Jr., the Tony Stark Iron Man, Peter Parker stuff is amazing in this. I love their dynamic, and I didn't bring this up when you guys were talking about Far From Home, but it plays into some of the scenes in Far From Home too that I can throw into the positives of that movie.
Yeah.
The scene you were talking about with Happy, looking at him and seeing Tony and him, all that, him grieving Tony, all that elevates Far From Home.
Yeah.
And then I only put down one negative because I honestly don't really have many negatives with this movie. I just simply don't like it as much as the Spider-Man movies above it. And I also just think the stakes it's very grounded. The stakes are a lot smaller than some of the other Spider-Man movies. So I just put that there. I feel like that's really the main reason I have it lower. But great movie. I agree. 8 out of 10.
Okay.
Maybe an 8.5. No, 8. We'll go to an 8. All right.
I could maybe do 8.5, but that's my ceiling for it for sure.
All right. And then right above it, I'm still going to get hate for this, but I have Spider-Man 1.
The fact that both TASMs are still in is crazy.
It's not, man. It's not. We'll get into that next. Spider-Man 1 is next. Willem Dafoe's great. I will say I give Toby a lot of hate. I think he portrays the awkward, like weird, lonely kid very, very well in this.
I mean, yeah, but
Don't worry. I'll get into some other stuff. But that's what he's supposed to
he's
be.
a stalking loser for half.
Oh yeah, he's a stalker, but he's supposed to be a loser. The origin
Yeah,
overall is good. I really like the final fight. I love how brutal it is. Like that fight is really brutal.
That's true.
That's what I was talking about when I was saying the action overall. I think Spider-Man 3 is better, but that scene is great. And it's just you brought it up. It's the blueprint for so many comic book movies,
It
so I
is.
feel like you gotta give it some respect. Negatives. MJ is so annoying. You brought it up. I can't. Like every scene she's on, it makes me so mad. And then I'm not gonna give up a point for this because it was made, but the CGI is noticeably terrible. Like there's so many scenes where it's like, okay, that's actually crazy that's just even
Some
in
of
a
the
movie.
action it really isn't that.
Like
good.
literally the CGI in like some of the Star Wars movies in the late
Prequels.
70s are even the
Oh,
late
you're saying
70s are better than the CGI in.
Well, I think those are all like mostly practical effects.
I was gonna say that's mostly practical. I don't think they have CGI. in
Yeah.
the
Oh.
70s, man.
Most of that's
Okay.
like practical effects.
Yeah.
back
Okay.
then.
Well, either
If
way.
you want to say prequels, that's
Well,
CGI.
the prequels are definitely better.
Yeah, that was I was
terms
gonna
of
say.
that.
I was gonna say CGI in the prequels is a lot better than Spider-Man 1.
Okay,
Well,
and then
those came out in like similar time frames.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah,
That's
they're
why
pretty
you
much the
can- You
same.
can compare it. So
dialogue. I agree completely with what you said. The dialogue is not great. A lot of the stuff that they say, like I get it, like it's supposed to be campy. That's what they're going for. I personally don't like that, and that's why I'm lower on Spider-Man 3 and 1 than probably most people are. I know a lot of people have Spider-Man 3 at the bottom, but some people really love it. I'm not big on the campiness. And then so a lot of the stuff they say, I just don't think is like realistic dialogue. Like you can write dialogue in a campy way where it's realistic, and they don't do that. Like
No,
some of
they
the stuff
don't.
they say is just like,
it's so out of nowhere and random.
yeah, I don't know.
Dialogue is genuinely so bad in that. That's why
But
it's
yeah,
so low.
those are my main negatives of Spider-Man 1. But I think William Dafoe's Goblin is enough to carry. I think the fact that it's the blueprint. I think the fact that that final fight is such a good fight. I really, really do like that. And I think for what they're going for with Toby being awkward and lonely and all that stuff, it is good. So I feel like you got to give it some respect. All right. And then I'm going to put these two together. At number 5, no, this is 7 and 6.
Okay.
I'm switching that up there for you guys. Okay, but 7 and 6 is TASM 1 at 7 and TASM 2 at 6.
Interesting. Okay.
I love these movies so much. These movies make me feel a certain way that I rarely feel with movies. And I just cannot, like, there are negatives with these movies that I will get into, mainly in TASM 2. The lows of TASM 2 are definitely lower than any Spider-Man movie. So I have to account for those. But whenever I watch those movies, I feel so many different emotions that I don't care. I don't care if some of these movies below it are simply better overall stories and just better written and all that. They make me feel something that I don't feel with any other movie, so I'm going to put them over them. In TASM 1, I'll start with that since I have it at 7. This goes for both TASM 1 and 2. Andrew Garfield. Yeah, Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone. Their chemistry is insane. Like their chemistry makes that movie for me. I absolutely love them. Every scene they're in, I'm smiling, and then you get some extremely emotional moments, especially in TASM 2. TASM 1, a lot of people don't like the suit. I actually think it's fine. I don't understand why people hate the suit.
I don't hate it, but I don't like it.
I don't know. A lot of people have it as a negative. I don't think it's not like the best suit by any means, but I don't hate it.
It doesn't drop at a point for me, but it definitely doesn't help.
The web swinging is awesome in TASM 1, especially as in TASM 2. I really like the lizard school fight. I know you said you love the scene where he like is actually fighting like a spider. And
Yeah,
like
I was going to talk
wrapping-
about that.
Yeah, I love that. I already went into my tangent about Uncle Ben's death, so I'm not gonna go over that. But I think Uncle Ben is great. So is Aunt May. And then Captain Stacy's death at the end is really emotional for me. I like how it leads into TASM 2 too, as he is saying, leave Gwen out of it, because that is so big for some of the stuff that happens in TASM 2, and I love it. And I love how he doesn't like Spider-Man and like their kind of rivalry, and then he finds out the truth, and then you get that whole sequence. I love that. And then you talked about the bridge scene. That's my personal favorite scene in the movie. That's such a Spider-Man scene, man, where he's holding them together and he tells them to put on the mask, like tells them to climb. Love all that. That's my favorite scene in that movie.
Yeah, no, it's definitely it might be my favorite. It's up there. I was gonna say I forgot to talk about this too. That it's a negative for me. I love that Captain Stacy he has that rivalry, like you said, and then he turns into eventually he's like, all right, I will support you. You're trying to do good, whatever, all that sequence where they're fighting the lizard. I don't like that. He makes that promise in such a powerful moment to say that, and then he instantly at the end of the movie he's like, yeah, but like the promises you can't keep are the best kinds. And he just instantly is like, yeah, I'm willing to break the promise. Yeah. Why would you make the promise if you're just going to go
Well,
back
I mean,
fast?
they do stuff at the beginning of TASM 2 where he's going back and
he
forth.
goes back, but
between
I
that.
don't like how they ended it in TASM 1. If you're going to just don't do it, and then you have the whole time of TASM 2.
That's fine. That's not enough to take off points for you, is it?
No.
Okay.
But like, I don't know, maybe half a point.
Bro, don't do that.
It's a 7 out of 10, like I said. So that might be half a point. I don't like it. I genuinely don't like that he just goes back on the promise essentially 5 minutes after he makes it, if that. And then, and like you said, in TASM 2, he's like,
well, you don't.
I
It's just
made
5 minutes of
promise.
actual screen time. You don't know how long, because they're like in the middle. Like I don't know when that actual scene took place,
It's
but
still to the audience.
but they have the funeral, and then they have the start of school, and who knows how long school went on for, and then he makes that decision.
Well,
and
like, it's still
you gotta understand,
visual
bro.
storytelling.
Okay, but I guess, but still, I think there's a lot more time that you can assume that like pretty easily that. And they do so much character work between the two that you gotta understand why Peter makes that decision. Spider-Man always does stuff like that.
Yeah, but like, why would he? I don't appreciate that he makes the promise in the first place if he's going to just go back on it so easily, and then go back on that again.
Well,
and,
that's the whole thing in TASM 2 at the start. Is that
I
keeps going
get
back
it.
and
I
forth
would
on
break the promise to be with Emma Stone's Gwen Stacy, but like,
it. So you understand it.
But like, then don't go back on it again. Like he flip flops on it too much to me.
Well, he keeps getting the visions of Captain
dad.
Stacy, and then keeps thinking about that and then he gets the consequences of like making that decision.
Yeah, even though he tries to make it and then goes back on it, and then she's.
I think it's a very real thing that a lot of people would go through, and I get if you don't like it.
I don't like it.
Yeah, that's fine. But wow, I can't believe you're taking off points because of it.
It's a half a point.
That's crazy.
There's not a whole lot of like other crazy negatives in TASM 1. So
Yeah, I mean, I'll just go into my one main negative. You said it. Lizard is mid. I don't think he's bad. I know you said that. I think he's just mid, and I don't like his plan of turning everyone into lizards. I feel like that's
you
so
can't be
weird.
saying that. One of our biggest fans of the pod is
I know.
he loves
Sorry,
Lizard.
Eric Connors.
Eric Kurt Connors is like one of the greatest villains ever, right? Eric, I need you to leave a comment about that, please.
All right. And then TASM 2 I have above it. It definitely has lower lows, but the highs are some of my favorite highs in any comic book movie ever, and I cannot watch this movie without crying. It's actually insane. This movie makes me feel something more than almost any movie ever like has made me feel.
Oh, really? Look at the poster behind you.
Yeah, almost any other movie. Andrew Garfield, Gwen Stacy already said it. Their chemistry and just their performances are even better in this movie. The web swinging's even better. The suit is my favorite live action suit ever. The visuals, I think it is visually. Brandon Day looks visually good too, but it's at least top 2, maybe the best visuals in a Spider-Man movie ever. Gwen's death is so emotionally impactful. You get all the build up from TASM 1 and their relationship to TASM and in TASM 2 leading up to that moment, especially with Captain Stacy, and the going back and forth and him dealing with all that. I think it just makes that moment so emotionally impactful, and it gets me every single time, and it gets most people every single time. I'll do the villains real quick. Goblin, obviously terrible. I'm not going to go into that. It's bad. Electro, I he's definitely towards the bottom, but I don't hate it as much as other people do, similar to what you were saying.
Yeah, he
I
had
also,
the potential. He just
I
didn't.
also love the Times Square fight. I adore it. I love how visually it looks. I love how first of all, he gets his web shooters like electrocuted. He one of them, and then he does the thing where he stops the cop cars and webs out and grabs their hands before they touch the metal railing to get electrocuted. Love that. That scene is one of my favorite Spider-Man scenes. One scene that it's not that big and I actually adore is when he's helping the kid. I forgot his name already.
Oh my god, it was the trivia.
Yeah.
Come on, bro. His name is Jorge.
Jorge. I love that scene, especially how it goes back into the final scene where he's the one that is
I love that.
where he's the one who's putting on the mask and standing out in front of him. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Also, I forgot to say this in TASM 1 because I just randomly thought about the kid on the bridge scene. His dad is the person that moves
the
the
crane
cranes.
worker,
So
yeah.
yes, I love that touch. But yeah, I love that in the Gwen's speech at the end. You don't get to hear the whole thing at the start, then it shows you the rest of it, and she says, pretty much there are gonna be times when you're all alone, but you have to stay strong, keep hope, and then he decides that he needs to keep being Spider-Man and be that beacon of hope for
The city.
everyone. But yeah, love it. Villains aren't great, but I think all those positives I said, just in the way the movie makes me feel, it outweighs those negatives so much. I watched that movie and I almost don't even care to a degree because of how much I love those positives. Like, it just is that good to me. So it's number 6, but it can't be over the top 5 because those movies don't really have too many negatives for me, and they're just good. All right. Number 5. Sorry for that long TASM. Yeah.
No, you need to get proper glaze. It's fine.
Yeah. All right. Number 5, Spider-Man 2. Actually, before I rewatched this movie, I actually probably would have had this very close to the Spider-Man 1. I thought they were pretty close, but when I rewatched it, this is the most I enjoyed Spider-Man 2 easily. Doc Ock is great. You talked about it. The train sequence is so good. One of my favorite. Like, I never really liked it that much as like most people do, but when I was watching it with you, I was like, dude, this is really good, especially when they stop him from falling and lift him through and they decide to keep his secret.
Yeah.
All that stuff is so good. Peter's arc of Spider-Man being a burden, I think, is such a like.
Oh, I didn't talk about that. Yeah,
it's
so good.
It's the whole arc of Spider-Man 2, and I think it's probably my favorite arc of his throughout the Raimi trilogy. One of the best Spider-Man arcs in general. I love it so much. Aunt May is great in this movie. I didn't even talk about her in TASM 2, but I'm not going to go back. Aunt May in Spider-Man 2, her like speech, I guess, to him when he's outside about like everyone loves a hero, everyone has a hero inside of them, that motivates him to go back into being Spider-Man again. Love all that. For negatives, MJ is still annoying. It's not as bad as Spider-Man 1.
It's better.
Still the dialogue is still very campy, very like unrealistic at some points, just not as to the degree of Spider-Man 1.
Yeah.
But so those don't hold nearly as a negative effect. This is an amazing movie. I finally see the vision with this one, and I understand why people have it so high now after rewatching it.
Yeah.
My number 4 is No Way Home.
I knew it. I had a feeling you were gonna do this.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will say this: my top 4, this top 4 are all goated. We have the same
Yeah.
top 4, just not. We're gonna have it in different orders.
Yeah.
Love No Way Home. The fan service works. I hate when people say that this is just nostalgia. This is just nostalgia slob, blah, 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 blah. It works for Tom Holland's Peter Parker, Spider-Man. Like, it works.
Right.
It's not really, it's thrown in there. Yes, it is fan service. It is to make everyone be like, oh.
Can I go on a quick rant about fan service?
Sure.
Why the hell do you not want to be, like, given incredible moments to you're the fan. Enjoy the goddamn movie. All right, go ahead.
Okay. I thought it was going to be longer than that. Okay.
I just need a quick bit.
All right. Yeah, it works. I agree. Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin is awesome. I don't know if I'm gonna go as far as say I like it more than Spider-Man 1, but it's at least close. He has some amazing scenes. You even like just went over the scenes that he's in, and we're just like, yeah, that's crazy good. God, why did I write this so much? Tom Holland's great.
Will might like Tom Holland.
Oh, I'm actually just gonna say this now.
Oh yeah.
Actually, no, I'll save it.
All right. I think I agree.
Yeah. Aunt May's death is great. We already
Yeah.
went over it again. It's one of the better Spider-Man scenes all time, and I think the decision to make everyone forget him set up this new trilogy that we're going to get so well, and it led into one of my favorite Spider-Man movies ever, which we just got. So, and then my only real negative for this is this doesn't make me drop my score, but it made me make the decision of putting this lower than I originally had it. Is when I did rewatch it, that those nostalgics, those fan service scenes did hit less for me, just because I knew they were coming.
Naturally.
Yes, and like I said, not taking any points off, but I think because of that, I'm not going to ever feel what I felt in that theater
The
again.
theater experience is crazy, and
Yes.
it's less so now.
Yes, when I watch that, it's still
I feel the
great.
same way about Infinity War though.
Yes.
And I don't dock it points.
Endgame,
I'm not
Endgame's
knocking
the same
points.
way.
It's just the reason that I put some movies above it.
Naturally, in a lot of movies, that's the case. Once you know what happens, none of the shock factor hits the same.
Yeah.
Like a lot of those fan service moments don't.
But like we're
So-
just lying to ourselves if one of the main reasons that we have that movie so hard is because of those scenes.
Yeah, like it's
So.
genuinely those are some incredible moments that like carry the movie. That's why
Yeah.
they're so high initially. So I get again, naturally it's not going to be as incredible on this like second, third, fourth watch, but like they still mean a lot. So
No,
they're
it
still
does.
enjoyable.
Like again, great movie, love it. Number 4, it's almost perfect. I love No Way Home. But I'm gonna go into my number 3. I am curious what you're gonna think about this. My number 3 is Into the
Holy
Spider-Verse.
shit. Oh my god.
All right, so I'll talk about this a little bit more. Across for me, the minute I watched it has always been, I don't want to say clearly because they're both so good, but I've always had it over Into. Into the Spider-Verse, it's such a good origin story. It's better origin story than Spider-Man 1. Like, it's not even close. So I'm not even going to argue that with anyone.
Yes. Yes, it is.
The animation is amazing. It gets even better in Across. I loved Peter B. Parker in Spider-Man 1. I love everything he does and being the mentor for Miles. The leap of faith scene is one of the best Spider-Man scenes of all time. And I'm going to go back up on what you said about the conversation between Miles and his dad.
Yeah.
And just saying he sees the spark in you. That scene for me, before, like, you always talked about it so much about how it's like it makes you so emotional. It's one of your favorites ever.
Yeah.
I never felt that before I watched it again, but when I rewatched it, I actually felt it, and I completely understand where you're coming through now. And I'm completely okay with you saying that Into the Spider-Verse is over Across the Spider-Verse because of those moments, because there aren't moments in Across the Spider-Verse that are as emotionally impactful as that scene. So that scene is incredible, and then you lead straight into that leap of faith scene. Yes.
There's literally a like 15-20 minute stretch from when Uncle Aaron dies and he has that talk, and then to being trapped in the dorm and his dad has that talk with him, and then to the leap of faith.
Yeah.
That is the greatest stretch movie history.
It's not for me, but I
I don't know
understand.
if I'm just gonna
understand.
say it just for to be all
No,
dramatic about it, but like I don't know if that's
I
actually
understand.
to say it, but yeah, that's what I'm just, yeah.
Yeah. Love the Prowler. I love the Uncle Aaron stuff. I agree that scene of his death is super emotional. It's great. And then why I'm just gonna say real quick why I have it under Across. One thing is I think the addition to giving Gwen more depth in Across
Very true. Gwen is incredible.
it does a lot for me in terms of why I like Across more, and really just adds on to Miles and Gwen's relationship or dynamic.
There's just so many payoffs and Across from Into.
And then I guess this is kind of similar to what I said for Homecoming. I just feel like the story is like, I don't know how to explain it, like smaller like than Across is, because Across you get some like just bigger stuff. I'll
There's
get into
bigger
it.
concepts with
Yeah.
the idea of canon events and like whole universes collapsing essentially, as opposed to, I mean, I don't know, the Collider is pretty big scale.
Oh, it is. But
Like I agree. That's probably Across a slightly larger scale. So
and then I'll talk about some more stuff when I get into actually talking about Across. But I'll go to my number 2 real quick. It's not recency bias, everyone. It is Spider-Man Brand New Day. I promise you, I will not be dropping it. It is that good. Peter's arc in this movie, I think, is my favorite arc in any Spider-Man movie. It really hits me every single time. I was telling you that it actually gets me every time. Every single time I watch this movie, it impacts me even more. I've seen it 3 times. Each time I loved it more. I love it so much. The fact that he's alone and realizes by the end of this movie that he can't do it alone. That for some reason resonates with me. I just love it.
Yeah.
It hits me so hard.
yeah,
I love the Jean Grey stuff. I know this isn't a Spider-Man movie, but just the fact that they're throwing her in there, I think it's so good for what we're going to get into with the new X-Men, this new version of X-Men that we're getting. I think it's a great like stepping stone into that. I'm so excited. Like, it makes me so excited for this X-Men movie that we're going to get in 2028. I already talked about the emotions. I'm not going to go over them again, but all those emotional scenes I talked about, the Aunt May and Jean Grey scene, the building Legos scene. What's the other one I'm forgetting? That I talk about all the
Frank
time.
and the like doing this, the fight with the
Yeah, but
hands,
there's another one. It's right before the Lego scene.
The-
Oh, I'm stupid.
the
Zendaya,
note.
MJ and Peter, and she reads the note to him. All that stuff. I love it. Action's great. The hand fight is simply one of my favorite Spider-Man fights ever. I love the line of him saying that I'm both when she's telling him that you have to pick between Peter Parker and Spider-Man. I love that. Visuals are amazing. I was saying earlier, I think it's top 2 in terms of Spider-Man visuals. And the suit, bro. When I was like paying more close attention to the suit in my second and third watch, I was like, dude, that suit is amazing.
It is
It
good.
reminds me so much of the Spectacular Spider-Man. It
Yeah.
is so good.
It is an iconic like look. So like
Yeah.
I agree. It's top 3 suits all
Yeah.
time. It might even be number 1 or 2. Like
Mhm.
it's dude.
All right. And then I'm just going to go into my number 1. It is Across the Spider-Verse. It is a 10 out of 10. It is, I actually put it into my Letterboxd top 4. It is one of my top 4 to 5 favorite movies of all time. Visually stunning. He even improves, in my opinion, on the visuals from Into the Spider-Verse.
So yeah, I agree.
I think Miles' arc of people telling him that this is not how his life supposed to go, you need to do this, or and him choosing, I'm not going to do this, I'm going to do my own thing, and him being told that he's an anomaly and he's not supposed to be here and all this stuff. I think that arc resonates with me more than anything in Into. So I think that's another reason why I would put it above it. Then I already put Gwen gets some depth I really, really, really like. And then I love the Spider Society. I love seeing all the different versions of the Spider-Man. I love it. It's awesome. And then Miguel O'Hara is I love him as a villain. He's great.
He's great.
I think he's one of those villains that you like understand why he's doing what he's doing. He's one of those villains that I love. I love that when you can kind of understand their motivations. I think that makes them a way more compelling villain.
Absolutely.
Love that. And I'll talk about the cliffhanger real quick. I don't have a problem with it at all.
No.
I think it's more of a positive for me because it makes me so excited for Beyond the Spider-Verse.
I feel the same way.
And I understand that. It's more of it's definitely not more of a positive, but it's kind of just a tiebreaker in a way of like I want to see the conclusion, so maybe it is, but like I told you, the biggest reason is those emotional scenes for me. That's the difference.
Yeah,
so.
I agree, and I that's why I said I completely understand why you went 2 over. If those scenes mean so much to you, because I literally just said it'd be very hypocritical for me to say, yeah, that's crazy, when I just said TASM 2. TASM 1 and 2. I understand why some people have it low, but those scenes for me mean so much. So, but yeah, that's my ranking. Across the Spider-Verse is so good. It's my number 1. It might never change. So, and Brando Day probably will not pass it. So,
yeah. No, I'm excited. I'm really excited for Beyond, bro. Oh my god. We're actually about to get the greatest trilogy of all time.
yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Let's do it, Noah.
Here we go. Here's my rankings for Spider-Man movies. Number 11, I'm going to go Spider-Man 3.
Okay.
You guys have covered most of the points that I would have hit.
Yeah.
Mostly the Venom storyline is just super messy. The humor is ironically funny, but
It's crazy.
it's just so bad. I don't know. It's like it's not like the movie's not bad entirely, but there's just parts of it I'm just not the biggest fan of.
For
sure.
But you think we've already kind of covered why all the negatives. I don't need to keep beating it into
Being
around.
a dead spider.
Yeah. Number 10, I have TASM 1. I'm sorry, Nick.
Like I said, if you have TASM 1 and 2 that low, I disagree, but I understand. Like, I went through the negatives of each movie, so that's cool.
I will say my main reason for the TASMs being as low as they are in my lists is the villains. They just are not strong, and we get such a good Peter and Spider-Man from Andrew. I'm just sad that he doesn't get the villain he deserves at all in either one of these movies. I think if he had gotten, dang near pretty much any other villain that Toby or Peter got, or Tom got, like these movies would probably be way higher for me. I just think that's just my biggest frustration with them as the villains, to be honest. Kurt Connors, I feel he just doesn't. He's not like drastically bad, but he's not good at all. Like, he's just very average. I feel nothing towards him. Like it's and it's just so frustrating because I think if we got something that really I don't know, just really dug more into if some villain was toying more with Andrew's Peter or Spider-Man, I don't know, I just think it could have been like you know how Vulture connected into Peter's real life, like his Peter's life, not just Spider-Man's life. So we got something like that where like it was connecting more into like Peter's life, not just like affecting him, like, you know, versus Spider-Man. I would have enjoyed it more.
I mean, because he has a connection with his dad, but they just don't. Nothing really comes
No.
out of that. So
No.
I don't know. I just that's always my biggest gripe is the villains. Like, I just think if we got something more that I could really get, like, I mean, you've made the point before. I'm not like using it to say like because we get in debates about it all the time, but villains elevate movies so much that I think if the villains were good, these movies would be like so much higher for people.
Yeah.
So that's why it's there. 9 is Far From Home.
interesting.
I really thought you were gonna have this higher.
No,
do too.
I defend it because I think it's way too much hate. There are clearly problems with it. This is easily the weakest movie for me with Peter and Ned, which is such a strong, in the original like 3, such a strong force for me, at least in the other 2, is their relationship. So the fact that they get less to do with each other, it's kind of, you know, frustrating. I like Mysterio as a villain. Like, I think he's good. So, like, that doesn't really affect me at all for the movie. I mean, do I think he's not as high as some other villains, but I think he's good enough. It being not in New York doesn't affect me that much. Like, I'm kind of like you. Like, sure, I would have liked it. Maybe if I picked, it would be New York. But, like, I never once was watching the movie going, why are we not in New
I think
York?
it's an interesting take. Like, why not try to see just
Yeah.
one movie, not the whole franchise?
Yeah,
not
I
the whole
agree.
thing. Spend some time somewhere else. Like, let's see what Spider-Man would look like in some of these other famous cities.
Yeah.
I don't mind it.
So yeah, it's there. Like I said, I defend it. I think that the scene with Happy on the plane is so good. Such a great payoff that we get from seeing how he interacts with Happy before then, and when Happy's looking at him and like sees, like you said, like sees Tony in him, and he puts on the music. Like, I don't know, it's just so emotional. That fight with him at the end when he like closes his eyes and just fully trusts into his Spidey sense again. I love that too. An amazing fight scene there. Number 8, I have TASM 2. It probably has the most emotional moment of any Spider-Man movie, with Gwen's death. I love this is my favorite Aunt May out of all the Aunt Mays.
Wow.
I think.
I don't hate it.
I like Marissa Tomei's more.
I will say Brand New Day did make
Brand
New Day helped a lot with Aunt May. I think if maybe before then I don't know, it's close.
Even No Way Home.
I'm gonna stick with it for now. I will say, and this will play into a take I'm gonna have later, where I'm going to rewatch Brand New Day tomorrow with Nick and IMAX for the second time, and this could change a lot for me
Maybe.
because it's a rewatch, so it's gonna confirm or deny some of my original thoughts, so it could change a lot for me. So I may that Aunt May take may change. We'll see.
Sure.
I want to say you like
Marissa Tomei's.
really.
Yeah.
I didn't say this. I feel like I should say this. This honestly could go into a Homecoming negative. I cannot stand how she's like because Aunt May is just supposed to be like this extremely impactful character for Peter and decisions he makes. And I feel like in Homecoming, and then I mean Far From Home, she's not even really
not
in
really
it.
in
Yeah,
it.
but Homecoming in particular, she's just like there to be like sexualized, and she's like I don't know, I just don't like that. So I think that plays a lot into why I'm not very high on her May, and it kind of plays into why I'm not as emotional about her death scene.
Interesting. See, I agree with Homecoming that I don't. That if you only took her in those 2 movies / her brief appearance in Civil War, least favorite Aunt May.
Yeah,
But in No Way Home and now in Brand New Day, her moment, it carries a lot. And there's now 2 scenes for me that stand out, whereas for the other Aunt Mays, there's only 1 apiece. So
I think she gets more from Far From Home than you think too.
I'm trying to remember
The
the
beginning,
scenes.
like when she's like helping him do the press runs and stuff.
yeah,
You get to see a lot between her and Happy, their relationship.
and she throws a
She does
banana at him.
she did the whole Spidey sense thing, and she kind of helps like him overcome that in a way. Like her like helping him through that situation. It plays an obviously.
I don't think she's bad by any means, but I just really love I love the Raimi Aunt May and I love TASM Aunt May. The Raimi Aunt May is my favorite just because of Spider-Man 2 stuff that we get, and then it'd be
Very good.
Tasm's Aunt May, and then it would be Tom's Aunt May. But I like them all. For me, the stuff that they do in Homecoming, just like where she's just sexualized and she doesn't do nearly as impactful stuff.
I like
it
that
just it leaves a taste in my mouth.
They go away from it though, as
They
in,
do.
in No Way Home and Brandon.
It's just the fact that it's there, and I just think about it, and it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth. And I think that's enough to make me put it over two portrayals that I really, really love.
They're all good. So yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah, for me, Tasm is the best portrayal. But that, like I said, that could change. That's kind of fluid for me right now. And then coming in at number 7 is Homecoming. I really enjoy this movie. I'd probably give it an 8.5. The vultures, the car ride scene is one of my favorite scenes ever. Like the tension, you just feel so much tension in that moment. It's amazing. I would have, if I could change anything about this movie, I would at the end prefer to see some more of a connection between Peter and MJ. I think it would help the beginning of Far From Home a little bit more. I mean, they do kind of just expect you to like believe the fact that it happens off screen, which is fine, but
it's just something that I personally feel like I'd like to see.
No, I agree. I mean, I think it's fine the way they did it, but I think it would have helped both movies if we got that at the end. I love him and Ned's connection. Like, it is probably my favorite part of like the two favorite two character interactions of this whole movie is those two. Yeah, I love Homecoming. Like I said, sure, the Rebel scene is amazing. Like I said, there's a slight like power scaling problem, but it's enough. It's not enough for me to be like dock at a point or anything like that. Yeah. So then coming at number 6, I have Spider-Man 1. I'm so nostalgic about this movie. I can just remember watching back when I was a kid, just watching it over and over again. It's Goblin in this is easily my favorite villain. Like, it's not even close. The speech that he gives, like telling him like, basically like, like they love to see the hero fall, like die trying, and basically like tries to tempt him to become like join him to be a villain. Like, I love that speech. Then their final fight is just amazing. William Dafoe's whole time, like where he's like this split personality, like it's just so good. Like I love that stuff so much. I think I probably give it more credit than you two. I know you both gave it shout outs, but it just laid the groundwork for me for so many comic book movies. Like,
it does.
I think the success of it is what honestly got us to where we're at today, in my opinion. So I think it deserves its respect. So I'm putting it at 6. I will say, like, I hate the MJ so bad. I have to say that.
Thank you.
I just think similarly to how you can just overlook a bunch of stuff in TASM 2, like Goblin helps me just look past a lot of the MJ stuff, because the hero versus villain dynamic is so good.
It's so inverted. Then that's so funny.
Also, I love another scene we didn't really talk about was the like the burning building scene when Goblin. I love that scene too. Yeah, I love Green Goblin so much.
That's valid.
Yeah, Green Goblin and Hobgoblin are my 2 favorite Spider-Man villains. So I'm just
cool.
That's why it's so high for me. Number 5, Spider-Man 2. I think we talked about this a little bit off the pod. I think everyone's top 5 should include like the 5 movies that
we all have the same top 5. Right?
In my opinion, it should include those. It has to include Spider-Man 2, both Into and Across, Brand New Day, and No Way Home. I think those 5 should be in your top 5. After that, we can have debates. People can have their whatever the opinions. I think those 5 are clearly such strong stories, not a lot of flaws. They just are so well constructed. I think that's just the top 5 clearly to me. Spider-Man 2, the train scene is in my top 3 all-time action sequences in any Spider-Man movie. It's so good. Yeah, when they're passing him, like save him from falling, and then like that, all that stuff is just so awesome. Yeah, Spider-Man 2, it's the best of the original trilogy, and like I said, I think the Spider-Man 1 and really the whole trilogy in itself just laid the groundwork so much for so many other comic book movies. So it has to be respected.
Very true.
Number 4, and I think, I'm going to be honest, I think this will change. It's Brand New Day for right now. But I could see it passing into, I don't know if it'll pass across for me, but I could see it passing into. And we'll get into this later when I get to my number 1. But so yeah, Brand New Day. I won't talk about this too much. Like, we literally just did a review on it, so everybody can go watch it if they want to watch it.
Please watch it.
Yeah. So yeah, I won't get into it too much. But yeah, Brand New Day. It's amazing. There's so many good emotional moments. Like I said, I think No Way Home has the most emotional moment of the two, but overall, Brand New Day is a more emotional movie.
Yeah.
There's more hitting moments.
Yes.
Consistently.
I want to say real quick too. So Spider-Man 2, I said in our Brand New Day review, I feel like there's a lot of things that kind of about Brand New Day that give me Spider-Man 2 vibes.
Mm-hmm.
I think Brand New Day is our generation Spider-Man 2, and
Probably
a lot
is.
of people from our generation are going to like glaze this movie into oblivion. Like, if we fast forward 10 years, that's just what I think is going to happen.
Yeah.
That's a good theory. The only difference is there's not a Doc Ock type of villain, I guess.
Yeah, it more of the
But
character arc stuff.
The character arc stuff is very strong in that, and you get more emotional scenes. You get side characters included like Hulk and Punisher, so Jean Grey. So
Yeah, and now I have to talk about Frank Castle. I love the Punisher
GOAT.
so much. Oh my gosh, he is the GOAT. John Bernthal is amazing. Yes. That when he puts on the mask and starts grunting is actually the funniest thing. I started dying. It was so funny. And it plays into his character so well. It's
Dude,
just
I
so
saw people
funny.
saying that's so out of character for him.
Bro, it is not.
He's grunting like that all the time.
People have so many bad takes. I'll get into this right now. We'll put this on pause for a second. People's takes on the Punisher in this movie are so bad. Like, all of them. Everyone's like, well, why would he care about Peter? Why would he cry? You tell me you didn't watch season 2 of Punisher. You just didn't watch it. Like, and also, he literally tells Peter earlier on that if he had anything to actually fight for, he wouldn't be like wearing a mask. And he basically tells Peter, if I still had something to fight for, I wouldn't be hiding behind a mask, which is, and like, I just think that is like clearly like why he cares about Peter is because he sees like Peter as not necessarily a son, but like essentially like as like a kid that he can help out, and his kids, he can no longer help his kids, so he sees Peter in that light. And
God.
I think people just don't view it that way, and I don't understand how.
Punisher is Iroh, Peter is Zuko.
And like
Peter Parker is Zuko.
he's still playing into his trope. He literally tries to shoot Jean Grey. Like he still is being the Punisher. Like he literally told Peter, "I'm gonna try and handle this."
Punisher's thing is he wants to take out like the evil. And,
Yeah.
Like whenever he's always had the reaction when he hurts people that he believes are innocent and don't deserve it. He always reacts like that.
Yeah.
So
I just don't understand. And everyone's like, "Oh, he didn't treat Matt like that at all." And after 4 or 5 seasons or whatever. And I'm like, yeah. Well, guess what? Matt Murdock's not a kid.
Yeah,
Like,
that's the biggest difference to me is that he sees Matt more as an equal in terms of that,
Yes.
whereas Peter is a kid still to him, and he respects the naivety, the innocence, whatever.
Yeah.
And that side of it, and wanting to be more morally right. Whereas Matt, he's like having this back and forth, and it's really just the difference between the fact that Matt doesn't kill versus he does.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, Spider-Man doesn't kill either, but it's just.
But he tries to do so much more good, whereas
Yeah.
Matt literally beats the hell out of
Yeah,
people.
exactly.
So,
Yeah, I mean, because that Matt is just as bad as the Punisher, except for that he doesn't kill.
Doesn't
That's
kill.
the only. That's
Yes.
where he draws the line, and that's why. And I mean, there's literally so many times where Punisher is like, "You think you're better than me, but you're not. Like
Yeah.
you do. You're just like me, except I finish the job you don't."
exactly.
Like, so I don't know.
you
Like,
need to watch Daredevil
Oh my
season
god,
2.
you know what?
so yeah, I don't know. Like, it's just, I think people's perspective on the Punisher is like, at least some of the negative discourse I've seen. I'm sure there's tons of positive discourse as well. Just the negative discourse is so wrong on him. I think, especially like I said, like the whole like he would not be there for Peter and crying. You did not watch season 2 of Punisher. I don't know what to
Screw
tell
you. That's one of my
Yeah.
favorite scenes of the whole movie, so I don't care.
Yeah, I'm like, you don't. And he literally told Peter early in the movie that if his kids are still around, he would not hide behind a mask. I don't like. What do you? He sees Peter as a kid that he can help. I don't know what. Like, I don't know how you don't see that. Sorry for that tangent.
No.
Number 3.
We're all about it.
I'm gonna go Into the Spider-Verse. I remember watching this in theaters and it just being so shocked. Like, just initially from the animation and just how well the story is told. I agree that the scene, my favorite scene in the whole movie, is when he's talking to his dad's talking to him through the door. It's so good. Like, what it does for Miles. Like it. I don't know. It just and I think it feeds into like 2, like Across, because he's like just his connection with his dad and like how he's like not willing to just, oh yeah, my dad's just gonna die, like he's not gonna accept that. I don't know. It's just their bond and their connection. I think it does so much for that. I will say, I think they're underratedly funny as well.
Yes.
Like, I think that's something that like doesn't get talked about enough, is the humor in both of these is really good.
Hey.
Like, I think I just think they're so funny. Also, the fact we owe this more credit because we literally got Spider-Noir basically because of this movie.
He's so
Beyond
funny.
too.
His whole like the whole Rubik's Cube scene, and like when he comes in, he's like, wherever I go, the wind follows. Like,
Yeah.
he's so funny. All the different Spider-Mans have like their funny bits. I think Spider-Noir is one of the best, but like yeah, like you said, humor very underrated. The bagel scene, oh my god.
Yeah, dude. I think that's probably one of the most underrated parts about it, is its humor. The number 2, I'm gonna do Across. I love this movie as well. Spot is such an interesting villain to me.
Yeah.
I like that they kind of went off the beaten path. They didn't just do like a classic villain, because they obviously did Kingpin in the first one. So I like that we got something a little bit different. And then also, the subplot of Spider-Man 2099 being the villain as well. So I don't know. Like I said earlier when Nick was talking about it, to me the cliffhanger is not a problem. I can see how it is to some people, but I don't think it makes the movie incomplete to me.
Yeah. People say that, and it low-key makes me so mad. I don't care that you say it, because you said it's still a 10 out of 10. The fact that that's just the reason for you and the emotional into why you put it above it, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. When I see so many people put it like number 6 in their rankings and not being the main reason that it's not a complete story. Like, bro, you're going to take that back the minute Beyond comes out.
Well, that's the thing, is they're probably not. But people who do it like that, they're probably just using it as an excuse.
As an excuse, like, oh, I don't really know what's bad with this movie because it's so good. I just
They
want to
just
put it
don't want to
there.
admit that they don't like it as much. So like. Yeah. No, genuinely explain what is wrong with it, because that's not something to lower it by 2 or 3, even 1 point. Like, that's crazy. So
it's not even that movie too. I've always been a cliffhanger truther. If you can do something that makes me like be like, oh my god, no way, I'm so excited, I have to get what's next. That is a positive for me. If you can make me that invested into something, that's a good thing for me. It's not bad.
The only way it becomes a negative for me is if for some reason they never made a third one.
Sure,
then it would become a negative. But like. That's not going to happen.
For me, it's the fact that we don't have the complete like character arcs of the movie for Miles, for Gwen, Spot, like stuff like that. So it's the fact that we don't have like the Into the Spider-Verse stands as its own movie. Across really needs that conclusion to have that story complete. Is how I see it.
I guess so. This is kind of a hypothetical. There's certain character arcs in certain shows that span across multiple seasons. Would you use that same argument if, let's say, a show like season 3 just ended of a certain show, and like let's say a certain character arc starts on that, but it isn't complete until season 5 or something? Would you use that as an excuse for why you don't like season 3 of that said show? It's a hypothetical.
Maybe in the moment. I think once it is complete, like, and you understand where it happens and you know where the character is in the moment, it's fine. It's the fact that it is incomplete. So, I genuinely, like, once Beyond comes out, it probably won't be anything I care about. And like I said, I don't particularly care about it. It's not like it doesn't lower the score at all. Genuinely, I would say the emotional moments was a bigger. I told you this when I first watched Across. It was my favorite. I thought it was the best Spider-Man movie. The music, the hype, the moments, the movie were incredible to me. It was upon rewatch and about 2 years later that I realized how impactful the moments of Into meant to me. That like I decided that after those, seeing it all over again and reliving those moments, that those meant more to me than the highs of Across. So therefore, I had to put that higher than it just because of how impactful those moments are.
Yeah.
But Across, I do want it to be complete, but I understand why it's not, I guess, is what I'm saying. I just want the conclusion. And like you said, I can understand why that could be a positive. I don't know if I would say it's quite a positive for me, but it's certainly not a negative. It doesn't lower the score. It doesn't make me dislike the movie. I just really am excited to see how it ends, and I want to see that narrative arc complete. But like I said, with Into, that happens. The arc for all the characters is concluded.
Cool.
Within the movie, self-contained. So a lot of shows are able to do that, even sometimes within episodes. But
I'll be curious,
especially during seasons.
I'll be curious to see when Beyond comes out if you have that debate again between Across
I will
and
definitely
Into.
have the debate. I'll probably, depending on how good Beyond is, I'll have the debate of like all three of them could go in any order.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's gonna be very difficult. But like, even if Beyond is like a 9.5 out of 10 for me, I will still have that debate of if Into and Across are 1 and 2 for sure. But I might stick with Into, at least for now. We'll see. It just really depends on the emotional moments and like how that story completes and the narrative arcs.
Number one.
Number one, No Way Home. I think this is just the culmination of 20 years of Spider-Man.
Oh, I didn't mention that. It's such
Like,
it's such an insane idea that they actually did that.
yeah, like it's so cool. You can call it fan service all you want. I don't care.
Why would you not want fans?
Yeah, you can say, I'm just, short attention span. All I want is, just to get the cameos. Like, I don't really care. Like,
Why don't you want to be pandered to?
yeah, I like.
Why?
And also something that you got that I think was briefly touched on by both of you, but I wanted to talk about a little bit more. Is not only is this movie so good for Tom, but like we get some sort of a conclusion for Andrew. I feel like. And we never got that because they never came out with a third movie. And so the fact that we kind of get to hear him talk about what he did after Gwen died, and then he gets that moment saving MJ, we get some actual like conclusion with him. And
A third movie would have been so good for Taz.
No, I
he's
agree.
actually throwing like Venom, bro.
dude, I know. I'm just so glad that they gave us some sort of like conclusion. Like at least we got some sort of closure from that.
They have a line in No Way Home about that where they're talking about like he's saying I found an alien made of black goo once, and Tom's like I found an alien, and Peter, and then Andrew's like I want to fight aliens. So there you go. Like, that's his pitch. He wants to do it
That would have been the perfect. That is the perfect villain to do for
3.
TASM 3. So
Yeah, I love that. It's also just cool to see Toby put the suit back on, like take back the mantle. Like, he started it all. Just seeing the 3 different eras of Spider-Man all together. All the rogues galleries there, like,
Yeah.
dude,
It's insane.
it's just so good. It's so good.
100%.
Green Goblin is so good in it. Like, Aunt May's death is so emotional. The fact that Peter is willing to sacrifice everything at the end of the movie. Like, he's literally willing to have nobody remember him. And another emotional scene that we didn't even talk about was when he's talking with Happy at Aunt May's grave.
Yeah.
That is another super emotional scene. Like, I don't know, man. There's just so much stuff that happens in that movie that, for me, like, I just don't think anything will ever top it. Like, the way I felt leaving that theater was just so insane. Like, I felt so much gratification and, like, just, like, wholesomeness and, like, appreciation just for, like, all of this, like, time and, like, I don't know, just, like, emotional connection I have with the character since I was a kid. Like, I'm getting emotional kind of now talking about it. Like,
Dude, you were talking about the moments in Into. I'm literally just tearing up.
yeah, it's like kind of crazy. Like, I don't know, I just felt so much like, wow, man, that is like. It was also a time in my life where like I was in college and like it just felt like
It hits hard.
I'm transitioning from this like being a kid to being an adult, and like Spider-Man's kind of doing the same thing, and I don't know, it's just it's so emotional for me. But yeah, I really loved it. So yeah, I think it'll always be one for me.
It's
We all got
crazy.
different number ones. That's good. I
We
like
do.
that.
We do.
Cross into No Way Home.
Yeah. And that's all valid. I mean, obviously we had all those in our top like 3, right? So, top 4.
It was my 4.
Yeah, you put No Way at 4.
Yeah, my top 3 was Brand New Day and then the 2 Spider-Verses.
Yeah. Yeah, we had all the exact same top 5, right? So that's kind of funny, but like it's all a bunch of different order. I was gonna say just like that's how like you being emotional there, me being emotional, you're emotional about Tarzan too. Like we talk about that, all that. It's crazy how impactful these movies are, and we just like speaks to it. I just want to say
like
we
all
all
of them
love
are.
them.
Spider-Man's such a good
Yeah.
character, man. Like if I
Yeah.
didn't love Batman so much, he's like Batman and Spider-Man are easily like they're so popular. It's like, oh, of course you like Batman and Spider-Man. They're just the goats, bro.
They
like,
are. No, I can appreciate people like liking random niche characters. If you're going like deep in the comics and trying to flex that like, oh, I know this random character from comics that's never in a movie, like you're kind of lame. But if you like some random characters in movies, or there's some comics characters that you wish had some more stuff in media, then that's great, and I really appreciate it. But yeah, don't ever have an issue with people who love Spider-Man, love Batman, love the MCU, like the Avengers or Superman or any of these big name characters. I actually used to be someone who thought that people who were Superman fans just were like casual superhero fans. They didn't really care for it that much. And my opinion of that changed with Superman from 2025 last year. So
Great movie.
that's the power of these movies.
Oh yeah,
It's crazy.
I don't know why this randomly came to my mind. I'll go 2 things. First thing, so coming out of my first watch of Brand New Day, even maybe my second one, I was like, I think Andrew still might go, like just because of TASMs. And then for some reason, this third watch for him, man, Tom's the GOAT, bro. I think Tom. Well, first of all, he's had more screen time than any of them.
It's a little unfair, but
I think, bro, his acting, just the way he portrays Spider-Man in Brand New Day,
yeah,
it might be the best, like,
yeah.
of any Spider-Man movie.
I think it moves me. I think it moves
It
me
really
to that.
does, man. And that arc he goes through, I think he's the GOAT. I still love Andrew. It still really is close for me just because of how much TASM means to me.
Mhm.
But
Andrew
I'm
still has
giving
the capability of stealing scenes, like I mentioned in
Yeah.
No Way Home, but Tom just has so many more like movies and the screen time, and then like the different arcs he goes on in those movies, especially in these last 2, really stand out. So I agree.
Yeah.
Tom
And then
is my favorite.
the reason why it came into my mind is I'm just so happy we are about to go through a period where my favorite portrayal of each of the big 3 were living in it. Tom Holland, Robert Pattinson, and David Cornsweet. I think those are all my favorite, well, definitely my favorite
Of those
of
characters.
3 of those portrayals of those characters. And they are, we're going to get 2 more Tom movies probably, and then some Avengers stuff. Got the rest of the Reeves trilogy, and we're gonna get some more DCU stuff. We still have so much to come from those guys, and those guys are already up there for me. So I'm so excited for the future of comic book movies. So
Absolutely.
Also, I want to say this about Brand New Day too. I hope this isn't the last time we see Peter and Jean Grey interact. Like, please, we need to like.
we'll get it in Avengers.
Wait, we need it, man. Like, they need to interact again. Like,
They have such a powerful moment.
yeah, like
agree.
I don't just want to see this be like we just needed a Marvel cameo in this movie and need to set up stuff. Like, no, I want this to be a continued like connection, like where where Peter actually gets to show like he genuinely does care about her and he's there for her.
Yeah.
Even if it's just like a Peter's referenced, like let's say in like the X-Men movie, like she references Peter, like that she still talks to him, or like he checks up on her or something like that.
or
like
maybe just about the impact he had on her.
yeah, exactly. Just like some sort of reference to like how much Peter means to her. Like I just think that would be awesome. So
they will. There's no way they don't.
Yeah.
It feels like a brother-sister relationship, and I
absolutely.
really like that.
Yeah, Peter gets to like fill in for the fact that she lost her sister in a way, and
Yeah,
with Aunt May. being
Jean
the
Grey.
bitch.
I mean, Peter Lee tells her that you have me, and she really doesn't have anyone. Like she's gonna, bro. Oh my god, that sets up X-Men so good. I'm so excited for it.
Yeah.
But he's always gonna be there for her, and she's
so.
always gonna remember that. So. Because she was there for her when she completes her arc in that movie, so
Yeah.
which is such a similar arc to Peter too, man. I love Brand New Day; it's so good.
All right. I think that concludes our rankings here. Like we said, this character means so much to us. I know it means so much to everyone else. Like, it's just such a appreciation. Like that we got to see another edition of Spider-Man on the big screen. I'm really looking forward to it. I know you guys are too.
Yep.
Like to seeing it again. I mean, we should. But next year is Or they just Beyond get delayed?
It's July of 2027,
Yeah.
Yeah.
next year.
It's
So
the
yeah,
summer. So here.
and we'll get
Yeah.
out tomorrow around the same time. So
Oh,
oh, it's
dude.
gonna be peak.
it's gonna be awesome. Awesome.
Should have been getting the Batman too, but that'll be early 28.
That's okay. That's okay.
Sorry, we'll make it.
As long as it's peak, that's all we care about.
True.
Go ahead and drop your favorite Spider-Man villain in the comments.
Also, tell us your rankings.
Yeah. What's your number one? Just give us your top three. Give us your top three.
Give us your favorite Spider-Man movies. I'm genuinely curious what the audience opinion are on this. I really wanted to see
Spider-Man
people's
1's
rankings.
number 1, guys. You guys are idiots.
If you say so, then yeah, it's fine. Like I want to hear you say it and explain why. If you
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But we appreciate you guys being here. Next week, should be
The End of Oak Street.
End of Oak Street review,
and
and then we have guests, I think, too.
we might have some guests.
Friend of Oak Street.
Yeah,
we
I think
probably
we're gonna have
will.
some
First
guests.
ever guests,
Um,
and then we'll do X-Men '97 full season review next week.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
then,
Also, I mean, actually, I can get into that next week.
yeah, so
Yeah, I'll get
it's
into
not
that.
technically confirmed yet, but we do have a plan for the following week. So
Yeah,
we'll
we'll
wait.
get into that next week. But yeah, we have Into Oak Street review, guests coming on, so that should be fun. Probably have some games planned, I'd imagined,
Yeah.
or some sort of bracket or something.
Mhm.
It'll be fun. But thank you guys for joining us, and we will see you guys next week.